Welcome, everybody, to the OMG Wrestling Podcast. I'm joined by my guest at this time, Frank the cameraman.
Or Logan Davis.
Logan Davis is on my side.
That's your real name?
That's my
Holy
real
shit.
name.
I've been calling you Frank this whole time.
So we're going to throw it over to the other co-host, Jack Lubash. Jack, you got a guest on your side, so let's let you take it away.
I do. And I want everybody to remember this name. Maybe not the name because it'll probably change, but remember this face. This is Devin Thomas, and I guarantee you he is no time at all. He'll be in WWE, at least in NXT. My prediction. You guys, you think so?
Son of a bitch. I have to live up to some expectations.
That's some high expectations.
Devin Thomas here, this man. He is a great wrestler. Devin, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here today.
Well, thank you for having me. And this is actually popping my podcast cherry, so I appreciate it.
I'm so excited for this. So
I can smell it.
No, that was your car.
OMG podcast.
So we're going to talk all things wrestling. We're not going to keep it in character, so you don't have to stay, your face or heel or whatever. Oh, sick burn to yourself, I guess. We got a lot to talk about today. We have Samoa Joe going to NXT. We have Devin's career we're going to discuss.
That'll be short and sweet.
Yeah.
We got road stories coming up. We got Brock Lesnar, UFC, WWE. Bill Demott thinks you're a faggot. And then Mania predictions as well.
Those are strong words.
Pipe bomb.
Right off the bat.
Does he really think I'm a faggot?
Probably. I mean,
Oh man.
there's a lot of people out there that think. I'm just kidding.
Hey, it's legal now in Nebraska. So.
You can get married now. Let's make that joke.
Boom. All right. Well, let's jump right into it. Why don't we talk about? Let's talk about Devin here first. Let's get to know Devin Thomas.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about Devin Thomas.
Well, hey, I'm Devin. I've been wrestling for just over 2 years, 2.5 maybe, going on 3. Trained here in Nebraska with the MWA. Got out of there, kind of started branching out, figured there were more places to work. So enjoying my time with the Magnum crew, 3X, getting out to Chicago, Minnesota, just starting to get Kansas City. Got to plug that one. That's happening next month, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah.
So you're still fairly new, you could say, to professional wrestling.
Or as some people would say, green.
Oh.
But you're out there. You're doing the grind. You're trying to get your name out there. Who are some of your favorite guys you've wrestled so far?
Right off the bat, Red Wing. I think we've been in the ring together probably 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And each time it's just been incredibly fun. He's a terrifying human, but incredibly fun to work with. Just notable ones was, Sanjay and Stevie and Drew. It was a lot of fun.
By Drew, he means Drew Galloway, formerly
Galloway.
Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Now, you got people that don't follow Magnum Pro, which might be quite a few people since we're reaching out to Tony's audience
trying
here,
to
his
get
subscribers.
the name out there.
Salt the Black. Well done.
You
Thank
were
you.
in September for Magnum Pro. You were in not only a one-on-one match with Drew Galloway, but you got to participate in a triple threat match with both Drew Galloway and Stevie Richards. For being 2 years in the business, that's not a bad start. How did you feel during that match?
Surreal. It was like it was one of those things like I think we did in the video where it slowed down as I'm doing a cross double clothesline off the ropes. That's what it literally felt like, and it's like I had about 5 minutes where I'm just like, that's Drew Galloway, it's Stevie Richards. And I'm flinging my body at him. But no, it's been incredibly surreal, and like all these opportunities have been so amazing to be able to go out there and do something that I'm still learning at, but to go out there and go at like some top guys just on the indie scene, on guys who have been to places, man, it's been incredible.
You are the Magnum Pro champion right now. We left that out. The heavyweight champion. I don't know if we really call it the heavyweight
It's just
title.
a Magnum Pro champion because we're not really all over the world, so we can't be the world champion. And we don't really have a heavyweight division, light heavyweight, all that. So, all right, thank you.
I have someone a beer.
Diva. He's got his phone.
That's okay.
But
you can leave it on. It's fun.
Where was I going with this point? There was a point I was trying
He's
to
a Magnum Pro champion.
Yeah, Magnum Pro champion. What's that mean to you to be like the champion of a business? Does that at this stage and indies level, do you really feel like that is like a huge accomplishment? Do you feel like, oh, it's just a random belt that's around my waist?
It's like it's a company saying that this is what the best that we have to offer. So even guys who are casual fans who come in and like, hey, wrestling's going on, and like they stick through and watch the main event. That's got to be best match.
Yeah.
Best guy out there who has the belt. He's either doing his job as being an asshole as a heel or like being the best babyface ever. So at any time I go out there, like my intention is to have the absolute best match, be match of the night. And so like getting that title, it's humbling, and then it just makes you work so much harder to get. And it all sounds so babyface right now. But it's the truth.
Yeah. So. And when are you going to fight Stevie Richards? I mean, he stole your belt, and
that's a great question.
You need to get out there. You need to get him.
Anthony and I have both made attempts to get the belt back. Come on.
Hey, man. What's going on here? You guys said that this was not in character.
Right. Well, that match is something that will hopefully be happening here in the future.
Yes.
You and Stevie Richards.
It better.
And if it's anything like all your other matches, I mean, it's going to be a
4-finger stinker. No, I'm just kidding.
Match.
Oh, wow. That's a new one. I haven't heard that.
You've never heard of 4-finger stinker?
No, I have not.
But yeah, so it'll be a classic as always.
I'm the gay one.
It's a term.
A 4-finger stinker.
You guys
Does
are
not
just
sound like wrestling related.
It is. I've heard a wrestler call a match a 4-finger stinker. That's where I got it from. Some documentary.
Okay.
Got really quiet in here.
Not going to touch that one.
So speaking of Devin's career, let's talk about Samoa Joe going NXT.
Ooh. That's a great
such a segue. Oh my god.
So it's official now that he's
I don't think it's
signed.
official yet, is it? Did they make it official?
I haven't heard any official announcement yet, but it's really...
Well, I guess not. Apparently, Samoa Joe was on Chris Jericho's latest episode of Talk is Jericho.
So then the rumor's going around that he's going to go to,
And
because it's a WWE official podcast, I guess.
He didn't talk about anything negotiating with WWE or anything like that. So I guess it's unofficial, but I don't know. I'm not. And like I said, NXT I think is the best thing out there right now that's on television. My hope is that they don't pull a TNA, because there was, and maybe this is just me talking, but there was that time when TNA I thought was better than WWE, and that was before they started bringing on big names like Hogan and Steiner and all them. They were actually focusing on these young guys that had a future, which is what NXT's doing. But then once they started bringing on like Kurt Angle and all them, gears shifted, and TNA went to shit, in my opinion, because they started concentrating on all these old timers and stuff. So I'm hoping that they don't bring in these people like Rhino and Samoa Joe and take away from the guys that have busted their ass in NXT.
And I can see these guys like coming over there to put these guys over too. I mean,
Sure.
I haven't really seen, like, when Rhino came in, it wasn't really to put Rhino over. I mean, I think they're coming in for some training purposes. Brian Kendrick is another addition there too, and I don't know. Samoa Joe goes in, maybe train a little bit. I don't know. I'd like to see him on the main roster. I mean, I think he had a pretty good run in TNA. He was like the name everybody talked about for the longest time. He was one of those young guys that everybody loved, and we'll see where he goes now. I want to see him on the main roster. I want to see him in a Kevin Owens match on the main roster.
Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens would be a pretty classic match. But then again, my fear is, okay, they bring him to NXT, that's great. But eventually he's probably going to go over to the main roster. And we know what happens to guys' careers when they go over to the main roster in WWE. It's...
No, look at Rusev. He was from NXT.
No, I'm not talking about guys just from... I'm talking about like big name people like Samoa Joe. I think they're going to pretty much... He's going to be a jobber when he gets there to WWE.
I don't know about that. I don't think they would bring him in just to job him. Like, I don't think that's their intention. I think.
Well, he'll probably end up facing Triple H at Mania next year, because that seems to be...
and then that'll put him over.
That's a dream match.
That's okay.
No?
I'll take it.
Well, it seems like like he's the first big name from another company to come over. Am I right?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess.
I mean, you can make the argument for Kenta, but like U.S. audiences, he's probably the biggest one to come over. So it's going to be kind of the experiment of how do they handle that.
Right.
So like that could really set the template, because there are still guys over in TNA who could really use
I think it's
what
going to
they
be
make
like a Chris Hero situation. Either he's going to like adapt to the system or he's going to be gone. You know, because
Yeah.
that's kind of what I think. We'll see if he's stubborn or not. But it's weird, like this long taking him to get there. Because I know he had tryout matches on like Jacked or whatever that show was back in the day. He never actually made it, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Well, you see a lot of discussion board too. People are like mad because if Samoa Joe goes to NXT, he's better than that. And I think wrestling fans should want to see him in NXT for a little bit too. NXT is a glorified indie promotion. It really is. I mean, they have basically, I would love to have that for Magnum Pro. You know, they just have the production value. They have a great team, and of course, then you got the talent that just they have the time to do what they need to do. They're hungry. Everybody there is hungry, and I think Samoa Joe is hungry again. I mean, he was misused in TNA for a long time now. So
well, and this kind of contradicts what I said, but I mean, if I kind of hope that they put the NXT title on Samoa Joe, just because it would give that title more prestige. Because I mean, Samoa Joe had about as good of a career as one can have in TNA, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he does it. I hope he's in NXT. I hope that they don't move him over to the main roster, as stupid as that may sound. I hope he sticks with NXT, but
it's good because like guys in the past that came in from TNA would probably just fail in WWE, but now that they have that NXT system to actually learn the craft of how WWE does things, they can take those risks with these TNA guys that normally wouldn't happen, you know, before NXT. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. What do you think his WWE name's going to be?
How can you spell Samoa Joe differently?
Leave the E off.
What's that?
Leave the E off.
Well, they always give people like weird first names like Finn and Hideo, and like they're just going to give him some weird Samoa. Is he going to be part of the Uso family lineage?
I was just going to say that he's going to come out.
They could do Samoan squat team kind of thing. Bring in a new generation.
Did you say Samoan squat team?
Not SWAT team. I'm dumb.
They could be the Samoan squat team.
Yeah, man.
And do squats and have nice butts.
Front squats, back squats, you name it.
I like it. Sounds
We should
good.
bring in The Rock to endorse him.
Yeah, he'll hold his arm up and be like, "What the fuck?" Like he was at Royal
Why you guys
Rumble.
aren't cheering?
I'm looking at Samoa Joe's real name, and I don't even know how the heck to pronounce it.
Oh Lord, no.
Can you try?
Nosferatu?
It's like it's like Nufalo Joel Sinoa.
It's got a good ring to it, man.
I think that's going to be his name. That's the future WWE champion.
Nufala Sanoa.
You know, I'm probably butchering that so hard. It's probably like Nicole or something like that, and that's how they spell it.
Hopefully you have
His middle name is Nicole.
Hopefully you have a listener who does like the Samoan like phonetics. Can we put that in the comments?
Yeah.
I'd like to know.
Can we?
You can go into Google Translate and put it in there, and it'll say it for you. But
I
you
don't know.
won't do
They'll
that.
probably make him like Yokozuna too, where he's like supposed to be Japanese.
He's like Yokozuna's son or something.
You know, that baffled me so much when I found out that Yokozuna was actually Samoan and not Japanese, like they portrayed him
I know
to be.
it was crazy to know that.
Like nowadays, you'd be like, no, he's not.
Yeah, I know.
What is this? but like back then, totally.
Right? And it's still, even I can't believe that nobody ever lifted Yokozuna off his feet until Lex Luger did that.
They were just protecting him, though. I'm sure someone else could have done it.
Well, I know that, but it was just like nowadays they would never do anything like that. Because I remember the big thing back then with Yokozuna was he hasn't been knocked off his feet yet. Like that guy went through how many matches and he never took a bump.
Yeah,
That's kind of ridiculous.
that's a great career. You'd
if
have
you
like a
think
long
about it.
career in your life if you could.
You just stagger a couple times in the match and then you get to sit on the guy's chest.
If I ever get into wrestling and actually get in the ring, that's my gimmick. No, I can't take a bump.
Okay. Well, you know, this is what sucked for jobbers back in the day. Yeah, they got to go on WWF television, but if you're up against Yokozuna, I remember watching a promo, and for those of you listening, just look up old Yokozuna promos, like packages that they put together, vignettes. When he would do his bonsai drop, he would literally sit on their chest, like legs sprawled out, and it was ridiculous.
There were a few. Most of the time, he would protect him, but I do recall one time where it's just like his heels hit. And
He just broke some
Flapped
guy's
out the
sternum.
guy.
Yeah.
The guy farted. And,
guy became a crash test dummy, and all his legs just fell off.
but yeah, so it's a little bit different nowadays. They wouldn't do any gimmicks like that. I think
So Samoa Joe's going to do the bonsai drop, is what you're saying.
more than likely. I mean, it'll probably be that like levitating Samoa drop that they always do.
Are they going to make him a heel because he's not from America?
if he's going to NXT, he's gonna, because I think Logan hit the nail on the head. I think his first feud's going to be against Kevin Owens, and I think that that automatically makes Samoa Joe face.
Yeah.
But I could be proven wrong. Like when the Shield split, they totally flipped it around. I thought Dean Ambrose was going to be the heel, Seth Rollins the face, but
with a name like that, he's pretty much guaranteed to come in as a face. Like any big like debuts like that.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Kevin Owens kind of has this.
Are they going to do that thing again that they did where it was like says Samoa Joe and then it changes to like his new name like they did with Hideo Itami and stuff? That'll be good. Maybe they could pair him up with Finn and he can do body paint too. That'll be great.
that's a lot of body paint.
I could just do the face paint like he did for a while in TNA.
You could.
And then he was going around trying to cut people.
Didn't
with
he
that
have like a
wicked
hatchet?
knife.
Yeah, and he was just
Yeah.
trying to take people's heads off. That remember when he got kidnapped by ninjas? Does anybody remember that?
TNA doesn't.
TNA, ladies and gentlemen.
He did though. He got kidnapped by
Oh, yeah.
ninjas, and
He just popped up like 2 months later, like, hey, what's up?
Man, how long ago was this? Because I think I might have stopped watching at the wrong time. That sounds
Oh.
pretty.
Oh, man.
I think I fixed Logan's microphone
Hi.
Eh.
a little bit. better.
Logan's just soft spoken.
Yeah.
You know the one thing about let's talk about TNA memories, and I know you remember this because we just looked it up. AJ Styles when he came out with a chainsaw. to
Yeah,
start
he came
the
out
show.
with the chainsaw. That was an NWA TNA, one of the early pay-per-view episodes.
What was the group that he was going up against?
So it was against Sex, which was Sports Entertainment Extreme.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was trying to tell him to get to the ring, so he had a chainsaw. Wait, by the way, Sex was ran by Vince Russo. Just want to put that out there, so that this is all making sense now. So, Sports Entertainment Extreme, he comes in the back and he's like, "I want a match right now, or I'll saw your body parts off." And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, be there in 5 minutes. I mean 5 seconds. Get to the ring, faggot."
Yeah, the best part is he's
He
revving the chainsaw, and all these guys are like, "Holy fuck, that's a real chainsaw!" And then he's like, "If you got any balls, I'll see you in the ring in 30 minutes." And he meant to say 30 seconds, and I think it was Disco Inferno. Was
Glenn
he's like,
Gilberty.
30 minutes, and then he's just like, "No, make that 30 seconds." And then he was so put off by the fact that he messed up that he's just like, "If you have any balls, I'll see you in the ring, you fucking faggot."
No, he didn't say fucking. He's like,
Yeah,
"Get
he
to the
did.
ring, faggot."
Yeah, something like that. But it was
Wow.
pretty ridiculous.
It was good shit back in the day. NWA TNA was awesome and bad at the same time because they had all those guys, but then they brought in like Dusty Rhodes to wrestle Vader or something. It was really weird. It was weird times for wrestling at that time.
What's your TNA memory?
Oh, man. Probably just, I like to remember the good times.
Right.
So the triple threat. The Samoa Joe, AJ
Yeah.
Styles, Christopher Daniels.
Isn't that what that was the one that main evented, right?
Yeah.
The X Division one.
Yeah, that whole time with the X Division was just on fire. So I like to keep happy thoughts in my head. So I kind of keep that in mind before I jump to chainsaws, which I never knew that happened.
Yeah, it was.
God,
There's a
it's
lot of
amazing.
crazy things that happened in the early days of TNA.
And that was the weekly pay-per-views on Wednesdays.
$9.99 you could order them. I used to order all of those back in the day.
I stopped watching when they made a video game character come to life.
You didn't like Suicide? I like Suicide. It was a good idea.
Let's create a wrestler and we'll make him real.
Do you guys?
And his name is Suicide. Dude, nailed it.
Did you guys like the 6-sided ring?
I do like it. I think it's different. They still have it now. They brought it back again, but I mean, a lot of the workers, I guess, didn't like it. So I don't know. You ever been in a 6-sided ring?
I have not, but I can only imagine how different it
Because
would
they have
be.
to have the boards like going.
Yeah,
Like
I can't
don't they
imagine
go in
how
like
how it would lay out, like all the semantics behind it. I have no idea, but like I can't imagine it would be easy to plan a match. Just I don't know. It's
Maybe we should try a Magnum show. Should be called 6 Sides of Hell, and we should try a 6-sided ring.
Well,
just to see how
we are owned by a Octagon fighter.
an octagon.
eight sides of hell.
My trampoline was 8-sided when I put ropes on it.
Backyard wrestling.
Just ask
For
him,
the
can
win.
you shave 2 corners off? We mean a 6-corner ring? I don't know. I never was a fan of the octagon, the 6-sided ring.
It was
Not for me.
different. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, "Whoa!" But then it's like, I don't know. It takes away from some of the matches.
I always wanted a 3-sided ring or a 2-sided ring would have been the way
a
to go.
3-sided ring.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, hitting the ropes, going straight into a turnbuckle.
I think I want to know where Cesaro was wrestling, where there were 4 ropes.
A boxing ring.
Inside these 4 ropes. Well, Logan, what's your fondest TNA memory?
Jeez, not a lot. I didn't watch it a whole heck of a lot, and I really picked up right when that whole suicide storyline went on. I think there was a couple of Abyss matches I watched because I heard a lot about him being like a Undertaker, so to speak. But
I think you should clarify that when you say suicide storyline. It sounds a little bit different than.
See? It's awful.
Suicide.
What's going on?
The
And then he
video game
changed his name to Manic, which I don't understand that.
And then he became like a superhero where he's like coming off unmasked and he's like, no, this is who I am.
Do you remember
TJ
when-
Perkins? And then
what-
he's like, no, I put the mask on and no one knows who I am.
Do you remember? That was like Hogan came out and said TJ Perkins was Manic the whole
Yeah.
time, and I was like, "What are you doing, Hogan?"
And I thought that was an awesome way to be like, oh, TJ Perkins is going to be wrestling in TNA as TJ Perkins.
yeah, and then
And Austin Aries did the reveal. I thought that was like one of the best things that they had done in a long time. And then
Hogan
like the
just-
next week, Aries dropped the X Division title back to Sabin, and like, oh man,
Remember when
felt
Sabin
bad
was
for
TNA
Aries.
champion for that minute that it happened?
He was.
Yeah, he was TNA World Champion
He
for
came
like a
back
minute.
He came back from his like second ACL injury,
Yeah, I don't know.
something like that. Yeah,
It was weird times in TNA when Hogan came in.
My favorite thing about TNA was when P.D. Williams debuted the flip pile driver. I remember literally creaming my pants when I saw that happen for the first time.
Literally?
Oh,
You mean
yeah.
figuratively, not literally.
No, I literally
You didn't
creamed my.
literally.
I was masturbating on my computer.
As you always do. He thought it was a different kind of TNA he was watching.
I was masturbating and just so happened to look at the TV at the exact same time they did the flip pile driver. Wouldn't you know it? I'm not going to say it didn't help me, but okay, I'm done. And Devin
Let's
moved.
just jump to PG
Devin moved to
there.
the other side of the table.
This is on video though. You could see it. He didn't actually move.
Damn it! I always
I
forget
joke.
that part.
I joke.
You are losing your credibility as a journalist here.
Right. I hope that's not what I'm known for, being a journalist.
Yeah.
That's
Podcast
Well,
journalist.
you're now known as the guy who jacks off to P.D. Williams flip pile driver. So
I don't care. I jerk off to. Never mind.
speaking of jerk offs, let's talk about Bill Demott for a second.
That was actually a better segue.
That was excellent.
I don't think he's a jerk off, but I don't know. Any thoughts? Discussion is open for the Bill Demott thing
Well,
going on.
I have a military background, and this it seemed to me whenever I watch footage of training camps anywhere, it's like a boot camp. I mean, they're really trying to hard nose these guys into the business because it's a hard business. Now, I'm not condoning anything that he may or may not have said, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know.
For those of us, I'm trying to find it on here, and maybe Tony knows. For those that are listening that may not know what's going on, what are the allegations against Bill?
Basically, he's a giant prick. He called people faggots and stuff like that, and then didn't he like hit people on the head when they were injured and stuff.
Yeah, like EC3 came out and he said that, like, he made a bunch of jokes in tweets and stuff, but then like the one serious one, he said like, all joking aside, you don't slap a man when he has a serious concussion, and that's a lot of what's been going on with Demott. Like,
Yeah, and the thing is, these
all-
letters are coming out, and they're not like letters written after the fact. They're like letters written to WWE corporate themselves saying like Bill DeMont's a terrible person. And then he goes and he's like, I'm not going to say that I'm guilty of what I did, but I'm stepping down. So when you step down, you automatically make yourself guilty.
Well, no, that's kind of a way to kind of deflect some of the bad press it's going to get. 'Cause
Yeah.
it comes down to it's a publicly traded company. So when enough voices start speaking out against it
Yeah.
and like enough stories come out, like news outlets are going to pick up on it, and you're just not going to look that great in the press.
Well, it's like one of those
So-
things where it's like, I think you're innocent till proven guilty. I think he was guilty until proven innocent
Yeah.
for him.
Well, and like so many stories came out, and like
Well, the
go
dirt
through-
sheet said there was another allegation made against him after all this too, and that's why he stepped down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the dirt sheets were saying. Take it as you will, But
and now, yeah.
Somebody that seems to be really like against Bill Demott is Joey Ryan.
Yeah, he's going crazy on Twitter about it.
And I think he posted something about like from the Be a Star website that their mission is to break down prejudices and promote a culture of fairness and respect through programs, blah, 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 blah. And basically he said this must not apply to WWE trainers. So, yeah, it seems like Joey Ryan doesn't really care for Bill Demott. And
I think Joey Ryan said something about how he was and never was, and he doesn't mean anything to wrestling or something.
The only thing I remember from him was during the invasion when him and Chavo were like trying to like get on WWE's side and stuff like that.
The only thing
that wasn't even entertaining.
The one thing I remember was he was like the first guy to put over Goldberg in WCW. Like Goldberg jackhammered him, and then the streak began. That's the only thing I remember.
And one thing, it's like the words and everything, like the homophobic slurs, we're in this politically correct era where, these little things are going to say, oh, he called me this word, he called me a naughty word, and we're going to complain. That I could personally care less about. The things, I brought up the whole boot camp thing with me. I mean, our whole group got called many things during it. I mean, there's been investigations on that too, but I'm here to say I really think it's still going on there. I mean, the cameras aren't on military instructors the whole time, and they get heat in the moment. They have their traditions and ways and all that stuff too. But anyways, kind of going off topic there. I don't know what I was going to say, but anyways, yeah, that's what I was saying. The words don't really bother me. It's the physical stuff that's kind of over the top there too.
It's like the old time, like, not speaking for him, but like old. You hear like Hulk Hogan in his first match or whatever got his leg broken.
Yeah, dude's literally broke his leg in Japan.
So like, yeah, there's like an old culture of like tough love, and I'm sure he did a lot of good. But once enough people start coming out about it, and like you're physically assaulting guys, like many of them who might not even know what the hell they're doing yet.
Right.
That's not going to stand for too long. And
well, don't you think those trainers have to be tough? I mean, isn't wrestling a tough business to get into and all that? And I mean, like,
definitely.
But again, we're corporate and under that corporate microscope and all that, where you have to kind of.
And when you're promoting, Be a Star and like all this stuff that is going to either bring good publicity or bad publicity, they're not going to want the negative coming at them. Although people are going to benefit off of it because it's going to drive business. But
business.
I've said this a number of times. This world is so watered down anymore. People get hurt over the littlest things. And the one thing I don't understand is when, obviously, okay, so all these people are coming out of the woodwork now that are saying that Bill like abused them or whatever and stuff like. Why does it? I mean, I don't know. It makes them seem like pansies that they have to wait for somebody else to come out and say something before they start coming out.
You see that in about every lawsuit. You saw that with Bill Cosby.
But you have to think of it this way. There's if you don't come out, like if you come out, you think, well, maybe WWE's not going to ever want to hire me again, and that's like the place to be. That's the one place you want. And if you come out and talk about how they're training and all this, WWE's not going to want you back. I mean. They're just trying to cover their ass when it comes to like getting back in WWE, I guess. I don't know.
Especially if you think you're going to be the Lone Ranger going out there and saying it, my career's over if I talk bad about somebody there.
Yeah, and then there's just strength in numbers. Plenty of one-off incidences, but then like once everyone starts coming together, like get a loud voice out of it.
And I mean, now more than ever is a good time to come out because WWE you can make a living not being a WWE superstar now. Like if you're that good of a wrestler, you can make it on an independent scene and make a living on it. So,
well, that's the whole problem of teaming up and campaigning with a group like Be a Star. I'm not for bullying and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong; it's a great program and stuff, but. Is it really something that a professional wrestling organization needs to be a part of? I mean, you're telling kids not to bully, but it's a product of guys bullying and picking on each other. And so to me, it's just like you ask for stuff like this. I mean,
there's name calling all the time. Even John Cena has a lot of name calling.
Right.
And The Rock comes out and calls people whores, like Lana a whore and all these things.
That's back when the Attitude Era. I mean, that was all that they were was bullying. But were there any allegations against people? No, because people were tough back then. Now it's just like we make everything.
Like, look at the storyline that I think of is the biggest bullying storyline is probably Vince McMahon and Zach Gowen.
God, yeah. Which it always makes me wonder. Remember that when CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb when he sat up Indian style on the top of the thing?
Yeah.
And he started saying, "You want to hear a story about Vince McMahon? These whole bullying things." And then they cut his microphone off. I so want to know what he was about to say there, because I think that's when Vince is probably like, "Shit," cut his microphone off because he's going to tell something true. But I wonder if that's what he was going to talk about, was like Vince being a bully, like against like Zach Gowen and stuff like that. But.
And that's the thing. I mean, what is bullying nowadays? I mean, it could be good fun. It could be teasing.
Well, nowadays, if you write anything mean on the internet, you're a bully.
You're a bully.
Well, we're probably bullies because we're talking about this right now. So, way to go, guys! Devin's the biggest bully of us all.
Speaking of which,
Sorry,
have you
I'm
heard
bullying
who
someone on Facebook or something?
have you heard who the new?
Wait, I thought you didn't use social media.
Have you heard who the new NXT trainer is?
No.
Yeah.
Albert. He's the new head trainer.
Really?
Yep.
A-Train is the head trainer.
I don't know. I never got on board. No pun
The
intended.
A-Train.
But I don't know. I never got into any of his characters. Like when he came back as Tensai, I thought that was the worst gimmick he's ever had.
Well, they could have done something with it. They kind of just got rid of it. I don't know.
Made him sweet tea.
Funk is on a roll.
Yeah.
That was a lot better than Tensai, though. I'll give you that. But yeah, I don't know. I never got into his.
They should have get someone like
wrestling.
Lance Storm or somebody to be a trainer. WWE. That would be great.
I think they may have offered him, but
Yeah, he's doing his own thing.
He's doing good with his own school, but like that whole training staff, you know, like just to go back to it real quick, like because they have so many names on there that like people have said back that Demott was the problem. You know, like Billy Gunn is there now. They say that he's fucking amazing. He's so enthusiastic about wrestling. Norman Smiley's there.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Albert now. Just like, I mean, I think it's good that you kind of get that out of there and make it more like they know what they're doing and not having to be physically assaulted if they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty. We went through pretty intense training to be on a podcast and stuff like that. And
Jeremy beats me, and he calls me a faggot and all these other mean words.
you're so mean, God. Anyway, so yeah, Bill. I don't know. I think he's pretty much done.
So what is Bill going to do now? There was a joke online saying, I think I should open a training school now that he's not in WWE.
I mean, if he does, people know what they're getting into now.
So a question, though.
Probably go to Ring of Honor.
He just stepped down from trainer. Is he still employed by WWE?
I think he may have just resigned yesterday.
Yeah, he resigned.
All
So
that
he's
stuff kinda
not
happened
in
quick.
WWE anymore then?
Yeah.
So he's going to be the TNA head trainer now?
He designed and WWE approved.
He designed or
He
resigned?
He resigned.
He designed the
He designed-
WWE
Did I say-
2K15
Did I say design?
starter pack.
Wow. He did design some new trunks, but he also resigned. So, yeah, he will probably... I bet you he'll be on Ring of Honor wrestling sometime soon.
What? No.
Why do you say it like
Why
that?
would he go to Ring of Honor?
Why wouldn't he? It's the only other thing that's on television.
No, Lucha. He'll be in Lucha
You gotta
Underground
go to
under a match.
Lucha Underground. I love...
New Japan.
Let's talk about Lucha Underground. I know it's on the list, but have you guys... I know Tony's watched it. Logan, Devin, have you guys?
I have not. I think I saw the first episode, really liked it, but I just I'm
Yeah, I haven't watched
Busy
enough
enough.
of it now, but
It's unique. I mean, I haven't watched it for a while, but just the idea that they put dirt like on the mat, so these guys are wrestling and they're getting dirty as they go. It's in a warehouse. The owner, his office is connected right to the arena. I mean, it's unique. I like it. I wish more. I wish it was bigger than what it is, because it's just like the theatrics of it. I mean,
well, something awesome is Rey Mysterio wants to go there. He wants to continue his feud with Alberto. So that could be cool, I guess. I don't know.
Good. I hope they have a good medical plan, because Ray's knees will give out probably halfway through the match.
Yeah, I mean, Rey Mysterio will kind of have like this ground game if he goes, kind of. I think
Ground game for Rey Mysterio. Come on.
It's weird, I don't know what he has anymore. And
Isn't that
he
when you
hasn't been
decide
wrestling.
that you should call it quits? If you're known for
Honestly,
being a
yes.
high flyer, shouldn't you be like?
I think Rey
I have-
Mysterio already had a Hall of Fame career everywhere. I don't know.
definitely.
I mean, he could train. He would be a great trainer to some of these like lightweights. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what if he wants to wrestle. Tony was telling me earlier that he's trying to spend more time with his family. So I don't. Well, does he want to wrestle still? Does he want to stay home? Does he want to open a school? What does he want to do?
Well, I think he also his like asking rate is pretty high.
$20,000.
Yeah, we found that one out.
Yeah,
That's
so,
pretty
like,
crazy.
If he does a few shows a year, he'll be able to save on his knees, and like whoever's willing to cough that up.
And he's still got those WWE merchandise things coming in, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure he's under one of those contracts. He's still getting paid. He'll be fine.
He'll land on his feet.
Oh.
What? Come on! I
see
didn't
what
say
you
his
did
knee
there.
would get out of it. He'll be fine.
Oh, that's a good one.
He'll bounce back.
I'm gonna write that one down.
Leave the memories alone. That's my
Aw.
final thought for Rey Mysterio.
Hey, I have nothing negative to say about his career at all.
He's
I just
amazing.
think it's just guys need to realize when it's time to call it quits. I
Yeah.
know you want to hang on to something. I mean, Terry Funk, I think he's retired 85,000 times. I want you to be there. It's my last match. That was 95
I'm
when he
not
said
booked.
that.
I'm not booked.
I just like I said in the last one, I'll say it in this one. Big Show needs to retire. Kane needs to retire. No?
No.
Let's
Well,
Oh, I want to hear these thoughts.
No. Somebody on Reddit Squared Circle. That's a shout out. I love that place. They were watching it with like his girlfriend, one of the dudes, and he's just like, I was watching Raw, like just getting angry at the Big Show and Kane again, and then, or they were at the show, and he's just like, the girl just sat there in awe, and like, what are you looking at? It's like, that man is so big, and Big Show.
Yeah.
And like, you kind of just forget, like, because of all the turns and like what we've watched dedicated to the product,
Yeah.
we kind of forget that this man is literally larger than life. Like, he is gigantic. And so he still serves a really great function as, the carnival-esque, where you get to see this man who like moves around like he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when your move arsenal is brought down to a punch, that's
Do you know what I hate? He punches guys in the stomach and they don't like die.
right.
And then he
Right.
punches him in the face.
Because he does this, it makes it more powerful. But like if he just throws a body shot, they don't just collapse and it's like our fucking ribs are broken.
Well, that's the
eternal
problem with
bleeding.
having a punch as a finisher. Like, you can't.
Oh yeah.
Same thing goes with Roman Reigns, I bet. Like, he's got to run full speed or it doesn't have any impact. Is that how it works? The Superman punch?
I don't know where he gets the strength to do a Superman punch. It's inhuman.
Samoan blood, man.
Well, it probably goes down with Big Show. I mean, he's been damaged so much in the past with booking that he's not a threat anymore. People groan when he's in
It's
a
the same
match
thing
'cause
with
they're like,
Kane.
"Let's
Kane
throw
is
it."
just
Exactly.
the booking
He's
has
been
been
damaged.
bad.
Yeah.
You want to know what really did it for me for Big Show? It was a couple years ago when he was feuding with Mark Henry. And there was a spot where Big Show was trying to climb up to the top rope. And it was like 2 minutes of Big Show trying to get onto the top rope and he couldn't do it. And it's just like, okay, enough's enough. I'm done with you. You were cool back in the day, but now I don't know. He could still be on television, just don't wrestle.
Speaking of which, they just had the NXT taping in Ohio not too long ago, and he had a match there, and I guess the crowd was just shitting all over him. And he got on the mic and was like, 10 more years. 10 more years. Like, I think
See, that's
he's
kinda
great.
funny.
He's great on the mic. He can be.
They just need to
don't-
let
he's
him
not a
be.
threat
They
anymore.
need to let him be a big monster. I mean, that's what he should be
Stop
doing.
turning him heel and face so
Yeah.
many times. I mean, that guy
And then
him
they
and
made
Kane
him-
both.
And remember when he accidentally knocked over AJ Lee and he started crying in the middle of the ring? That was ridiculous.
That was probably the last thing of Big Show where he like ran
when he was
into
going with
AJ.
Daniel Bryan. Yeah, that was pretty good. But like he started crying, and I was like, "What? Why is Big Show crying?"
I mean,
That's
he
ridiculous.
deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Can't take away that, but I just
Well, when your first match in professional wrestling, you win the WCW championship. I mean, what more? I don't know.
It's a testament to what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gone back and forth up and down the card, He's been
Hardcore champion, for God's sakes, I think, wasn't he?
and he's been in a sumo match against Akibono.
Oh, don't
Hey,
remind
don't
me.
bring that up.
No, I'm going to.
Those were
No,
that was the worst time to be a cameraman was during that match.
Ew.
Ew.
But like, he's been able to make himself like relevant, much to our dismay sometimes. But like, they just got to find a better role where it is a big deal that he's there. Like, same with Kane. I love Kane. He's been amazing for many years, and like even now, he still looks great.
Yeah,
you know?
I think he looks better when he started wearing the slacks. I think he's gotten more shape and stuff.
I wish you'd.
I mean, not the slacks. I mean, like I think he's gotten better shape.
Oh yeah,
since he became Corporate Kane.
Definitely. I just wish he would like wear the. I wish he would wear a suit and then just take the arms off. And so he's just wrestling in a legit suit but like everything's just torn.
He looked like the Wall. Remember that guy, the Wall?
Oh, yeah.
He looked like him.
Right.
Do you remember just a moment thinking where the Wall was on top of a giant building in WCW?
Mm-hmm.
It was like,
and he challenged Hogan from like 60 miles away, just pointing.
Yes, I remember that.
And Hogan goes, "That's the Wall." I just remember he's like on this huge skyscraper, like 60 miles away. I don't know why I thought it was just the funniest thing ever. That's the Wall.
I gotta look that up now.
Oh man, WCW.
And Kane, I don't know. To me, he kind of went downhill when he was in that program with John Cena, the Embrace the Hate, because it was just thrown out of nowhere, and we knew it was just you could see a decline happening right there. Oh, we're just going to start throwing Kane in these random, this makes no sense match. And then after John Cena didn't Embrace the Hate, he gets put, what was it, an ambulance match, I think it was? And
more than likely.
He gets put out, and then he just moves on, and then he gets beat up by more people. It's just, it goes down to that damaging in the booking.
But it did lead to Team Hell No.
And Team Hell No was
That
great.
was amazing.
The biggest problem I have with Kane, though, is probably that his hair comes off with his mask. So you're gonna tell me the whole time he wrestled he had fake hair the entire time?
Maybe.
That's the story they're going with?
No.
That's the biggest problem I have with Kane.
Wasn't his hair all like botchy when he first pulled it off?
When he
too?
first took it off, I thought, oh my god, it's a bad monk-looking haircut.
Maybe they I don't know, but when Kane first took his mask off, wasn't he supposed to be like burned and stuff?
Yeah,
like
they
that?
had the makeup like he was burned too.
Well, you remember he had no voice too. He had to use a thing, and they're just like, forget all that.
I remember there was a backstage when Kane I think first left the corporation. Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe like unmasked him backstage. We couldn't see but they could see, and they were taking pictures, and they're like, "Oh, it's so gross," and the form, and then it's just like, then he takes it off, and it's like, "Oh, it's just black makeup around his eyes."
I remember getting a Kane action figure where you could take the mask off, and all it was just like a black face, not like blackface, not like racist.
You're gonna get
blackface.
some calls.
We're gonna come out years from now. He's gonna call you out on that, and then I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, he called me black."
It'll be hilarious though if Kane actually does a blackface gimmick where he does all blackface.
I wonder if it's the same action figure I had, because I took the mask off and it was a regular face. But if you lift the hair up, you could see that they started to make it look like it was burned, and then the person was just like, "Fuck this, that's too much work."
No, the one I had was actually like you're supposed to be able to take the mask off, and then it was just all black.
Wasn't it one like you don't like play with it? It's like one of those like extremely well done, and like he's standing like on a gravestone.
I don't know.
They
probably made that one. Yeah,
I wanted those so bad.
I remember seeing the box for that saying, "You can unmask Kane for the first time." And I was like,
now we're really gonna know what he looks like, but it's just an action figure. We bought into so much shit when we were
Just
kids.
put like a Divas face on it.
Yeah.
It's like, they got us again.
that was creepy. I remember when the Undertaker was Kane and he unmasked. That was pretty.
Yeah,
he
but
looked creepier.
The only thing I didn't like about that is you knew it was the Undertaker, because normally Kane's outfit, he had the one long arm and then the one that was like the cut off sleeves. Well, when Undertaker did it, it was two long sleeves.
But
They
but
should have
then
prefaced it one time.
Well,
Just
then
come out the
after
week
that-
before.
Yeah, right.
Boom.
after that though, Kane would do the 2-sleeve thing sometimes. So,
Yeah.
but it was just like the first time. It's like
I remember in Omaha, there was for a Raw that was here. It started out, I believe, with like Undertaker or Kane or Undertaker in the ring, and he started like choking out Paul Bearer, and the lights went out, and when the lights came back on, it was like Kane in his place. Do any of you remember that?
I don't remember. I think that was the one Raw I never went to.
That was
like 98, 99.
Yeah, because it was like the DX split where Chyna pulled her pants down and instead of the guys, which at the time I wanted to throw up because that was when Chyna was ugly.
so now
Vince
she's
Russo's
good looking.
coming after you.
You gotta admit there was a time when Chyna was somewhat good looking.
Have you seen her video where she twerks online now? It's the most disgusting
have
video
not.
I've ever seen.
I'm sure she's not good looking now because she's like into porn and stuff like that. So
Yeah, she's hideous.
I remember you pulled up the one where she was painted all green like the Hulk.
Yeah, she did a video with She-Hulk in the, I guess, porn version of the Avengers.
Check it out, Devin.
No, thank you.
She also did one with some guy who dressed up like Vince McMahon, and that was pretty funny.
That I did not see.
As I was saying before, Vince Russo's coming after us now. He's like the #1 advocate for China and anybody who bad talks her.
We're not bad talking.
I'm not bad talking.
Vince Russo, we love you. Come on our podcast.
I think I don't think she's done in WWE either. I think she'll make a return
She'll be
someday.
in the Hall of
She's
Fame.
going to get in the Hall of Fame sometime.
I don't know. You heard Triple H on Stone Cold's podcast.
Yeah, but like you look up Mike Tyson, you can find rape on that, and then you look up China and you whatever.
That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day with Triple H and
Yeah.
people going in. Maybe Triple H probably wants her in. I don't know, and maybe Vince McMahon doesn't want it, or maybe it's vice versa.
Of course he
You
wants
could-
her.
you
in.
can
He was
kinda-
inside of her at one point.
Oh my!
You can,
Would you stop?
oh my, what you thought?
Can't
So was
deny it.
X-Pac. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why. I don't know.
It was just for one night, though.
Hey, is that a segue?
Speaking of
Going to
China's
Howard
clit, let's
Stern.
talk about Brock
Oh,
Lesnar.
come on. I gave it to no, God.
Okay, Brock Lesnar, UFC and WWE. I don't know what you had for this one, but we kind of talked about it on the last podcast. What is your thoughts going on now?
Well, I was just going to see what Logan and Devin thought of this whole thing, because apparently now, is he trying to work out some sort of deal where he can work both WWE and UFC?
That's what I allegedly heard the whole
Argument.
argument was
Yeah.
about, because he wanted to appear on UFC, and they didn't want him to go on UFC, and he just did anyways.
As I said before, no, just for your guys' benefit, I had said I think it would be stupid for Brock Lesnar to go to UFC because, one, I guarantee you the only reason he's in WWE is because they're paying him more than what he would make at UFC. So why would you go to UFC where you're going to actually get the crap beat out of you when you can stay in WWE where you have them wrapped around your finger? Because obviously he's their champion. He can show up when he wants. He can leave when he wants. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't think Vince would ever let him do both.
No.
I mean, that's just kind of silly because obviously he's going to, after his UFC fights, he's going to want to take some time off to heal up. And
It's a well-known fact that Vince sees UFC as competition, and
somehow.
I don't see how it could be. I mean, UFC is terrible in my opinion. I mean, it used to be cool, and now it's going downhill. I think our Magnum Pro owner just said anybody can be a fighter nowadays. Everybody's like back then. People are like, you had to work to be a fighter. Now everybody wants to be a fighter, and it's not really that. There's still the legendary names and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but
hard to
you
get
got to
invested.
think too when UFC first started, they didn't have rules and stuff like that too. Anybody
Right.
could. You had like a 95-pound guy going up against like a 600-pound guy, and to me, I thought that's when it was the most entertaining.
Right?
I remember there was this like small
Fights
guy
fight.
going up against this fat guy, and he actually won because the fat guy had him in like a chokehold, and he was just punching the guy's dick repeatedly. Like it was like
Didn't
five
he? Isn't
five
that the
minutes.
same one where he's just like laying on top of him?
Yes.
the whole fight.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he ended up winning. And like now it's like you gotta like you can't have an ounce of fat on you. You have to like you have all this muscle, you're toned, but you only weigh like 100 pounds. So I don't know. I think they should go back to the old ways. No rules, no guidelines.
I mean, I went to some UFC. I've been to Victory Fighting here in Omaha. I went to one in South Dakota when I was over there in the military. There was something called Ring Wars. I enjoyed those. It was like the
Ringworms?
Indies Ring Wars.
Oh, okay.
And it was like indie UFC, like what we do indie
Independent
wrestling.
UFC.
And it was great, like seeing those sort of things because it wasn't as structured, it wasn't as corporate. I enjoyed it a lot, but like I can't really watch a UFC, and the price tags too. I still will not
Yeah.
spend $60 for a main event that'll probably go 20 seconds.
That's it.
Ronda
That's
Rousey,
the biggest problem.
Ronda Rousey, 13 seconds. That was so much hype, and she just killed that girl.
90% of the build up for UFC fights are promos, and then it's just like the other 10% is them.
That's like when we went to the Victory, right? You were there for that, weren't you?
yeah.
When we went to that one, and then it was just like all the fights were like 10 seconds. We're like, okay, so that's why they have like 30 fights, and they have like
Because those guys aren't properly trained. They're just swinging for the fences. And
they have 30 fights, and then they have like 30 backup fights in case these fights go too fast. So it's weird.
I'm not against UFC. I mean, I like it. It's an alternative to professional wrestling, but if it depends on the fighters. Like if it's going to be a ground game, I don't really want to spend money watching guys roll around on the mat for 5 rounds, just like trying to feel each other out. That
Right.
doesn't excite me. If they're going to be punching, yeah, well, let's see it. So
And the Brock Lesnar thing, we kind of shifted more towards UFC. The Brock Lesnar thing, maybe it's just passion, like CM Punk. He likes UFC. If he wants to go there, it's not really about the money. I mean, he's banked so much at this point. It's like, I don't really care about the money. I want to go be happy. I want to go finish out my career at UFC, have a couple more fights, and be done. That could be very well the case. Instead of committing another year with WWE, out of that year, he'll probably have, 8 to 10 matches, or appearances, should I say?
No.
He'll probably have like 3 or 4
appearances,
matches and 8 to
probably.
10 appearances. But I mean, UFC, it's a little more easier, I guess. I mean, yeah, you have those hectic fights, those really hardcore fights, but then you get like 2 or 3 months. You don't have to travel.
Well,
You just
Brock
get
has
to
the same
chill.
thing
Yeah, it's
in
about the
WWE.
same.
But I mean, I don't know. They're
I guess I see
I
where you're
guess
coming
so.
from, where he's got that passion for MMA and UFC, where he wants to do that. But I don't know if
well. Then he comes in and he has like 4 weeks of promos, like WrestleMania right now. He's just making appearances until the fight happens. Like you travel just to come and do 15 minutes of standing in the ring while Paul Heyman talks for you.
Right. Well,
Like
and
he's
then
not,
like
it's kind of it would be a hassle to me. Like, oh, I have to go to Cleveland, Ohio to just stand in the ring for 15 minutes.
he's
Like,
getting paid. Who cares? If I was getting paid, I'd do that. And probably I'd love to see what his contract is that he has. 'Cause
Well, he has that contract where he can put advertisements on his shorts, which I heard CM Punk wanted that, and then they just said, "Oh no, but Brock can do it," and then like he can go wherever he wants and whenever he wants to show up, he shows up. So he's got like the best contract ever. But the big thing is, if he does it, does that open the door for more guys to do it? Like go to
that's
UFC?
the thing. It's if one
Would they
does it,
allow
the others
him?
can
I
do
mean,
it.
like
I don't know. Devin, your thoughts?
I think the thing that he said, like, I didn't even think of it, but the passion of it, because he's shown that he actually cares for what he's doing right now.
yeah.
You know? Like the Royal Rumble match, everything that he's been doing for 2 years. Like,
He puts his heart and soul into it.
yeah, and it's absolutely like the last big, what was it, like showcase or like kind of attraction that the WWE has right now. So they're going to throw a lot of money at him either way. UFC is probably going to throw the equal amount of money, but it's just different list of cautions that are going to be thrown at him. So
Like I said, I think they should open the gates and let CM Punk fight Brock in UFC.
Yeah.
Let that happen. That would be the biggest
CM
money
Punk
match
would
of
have
all
to
time.
gain a lot of muscle and weight in order for that to happen, or Brock Lesnar would like have to starve himself for a year.
nah, they're just going to do old school rules, like you said.
I wish that
Fish hooking's allowed, eye gouging.
I would buy
Inside
it.
the
UFC
Lion's
street fight.
Den. The
Yeah,
Lion's
Lions
Den.
Den match.
If they did that, UFC would gain so many professional wrestling fans if they had Brock and Punk go at it.
oh yeah,
It'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
like the biggest fight of our time, probably.
It would be. And sadly, Punk would get his ass handed to
We're
him.
going to throw Lashley in there.
Right?
triple
Ah.
threat UFC. There you go.
Have you seen the team like MMA shit?
No,
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like
So,
6-on-6 or 4-on-4.
There are like 6 referees running around like
It's the greatest
what?
thing ever. They just like
it's
they.
I
ridiculous.
They
did
l-
see that actually.
I think I
yeah.
showed you it. They
Yeah,
line
yeah.
up. They line
like
up.
dodgeball,
and
but
then
fighting.
they're like ready, go, and then they just all pick a guy and they just start fighting. And there's like all these refs in there. It's the greatest thing
That
ever.
should
that
catch
seems
on.
interesting.
That should catch on.
But then like once like you get down to the last guy, it's just like 6 guys just beating his ass. It's so
gang
great.
warfare.
We should start that. Let's start our own team MMA in Omaha.
God.
I like it.
We-
No, you don't.
Nah.
We don't have
Good.
to wrestle or fight for it. We could just put it on. We'll be the promoters.
Oh, just put it on? Okay.
Well, we
I
don't-
don't like getting hit in the face for real.
Why would you flinch at if it was us fighting? You'd kick all of our asses in like 2 seconds.
No, I thought I was on your team, so
No,
I'm like,
we're-
we're screwed.
No, we're not starting a team MMA thing. I think we're going to start a league where,
Oh, gotcha.
and then we
Sure.
can profit off of it.
Such a jerk.
It's the most insane thing ever because they have these really hot chicks in there, the normal like MMA thing, and then there's like these Brazilian guys against like these German guys, and they're just like huge. And I don't think there's like a weight class either, is there?
Didn't look like it.
They just all just run in there and see what happens.
Man.
And it was tournament style too, so like they all had to
There's
fight more
more.
than once in a day. It was insane.
So if WrestleMania is Brock's last match, do you think he's going to put over Roman Reigns?
I don't think it's his choice, really.
No,
I'm sure it is. That guy could probably do anything he wants.
He-
I mean, look
we
at-
said the same about the Undertaker, but Vince made that call.
Yeah, but Taker's been loyal to the WWE for 20
True.
plus years. Brock Lesnar is out business manning Vince McMahon right now. So whatever he does is gonna be kind of up to him.
Very true.
I think I don't know. He's in a very good power position.
yeah. That's what I think. And I honestly don't think he's done. I think he's probably just using this as a squeeze to get more out of WWE. Because he'll probably.
So he's doing like what the Warrior did back in the day. I want more money, or
Yeah, except
I'm
for
not
now
gonna do
he knows that he can get away with it.
Which, if I were WWE, I'd take it. I mean, Brock is. Devin said it. He's an attraction right now. He's one of the only attractions. When he's on the card, you know it's business. You know it's probably a guaranteed good match.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense to put that much money into something. Because honestly, do you think Brock Lesnar is a big money draw for them? I don't think he is.
I don't think he sells as much merch as they like. He's not a John Cena level of attraction where he can sell merch and tickets and all that. But,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what WWE is all about.
But they had this set in stone like last year when they had Brock beat Taker, and then they knew that the next guy to beat Brock was going to be the next guy in WWE. They set it up that way, but I don't know if Roman Reigns is that guy. What do you guys think?
Nope.
I think that's
Reigns should be beating Rusev at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
That would give him at least time to develop over the next year.
That's what I thought they were going to go with, but then they went with Cena and Rusev. But
yeah, like we don't. It's just been such a thrown together WrestleMania season. I mean, I'm around this time of year, I'm sitting there watching my favorite WrestleMania matches, getting like super pumped up.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm just like, oh, promos, so many promos, so many part timers. I mean, and it's great because they're gonna come and it's gonna be awesome and whatever. But
it's funny how much a year changes, because last year Roman Reigns was the guy. People were losing their damn minds when he was in the final two for the Royal Rumble. When he got eliminated, they shit all over Batista. And then now it's like, fast forward a year now and everybody hates him. And it started with when he won the freaking Superstar of the Year. I mean, that's when it...
yeah, he didn't deserve that award at all.
Well, like, to your point, like, that started because Daniel Bryan wasn't there.
Right.
Like, they just had to chant for somebody by default that wasn't Batista because they saw that coming from when they signed Batista, they saw exactly what was going to go down. So, like, and he was super over just because of that. And then because he was protected in the Shield, everyone was like, this guy's great. All of them shown promise just because they had their time. Mm-hmm. And, like, I think they've all done pretty well for themselves, but Roman's just been lacking so much.
It's because we talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's basically because he's just like the same thing. He has the same entrance, same music, same moveset. He hasn't adapted.
He hasn't branched out.
In fairness to Roman Reigns, they didn't set up his win at the Rumble in a good fashion, because by the time that rolled around, people were pissed off. Not just because they got eliminated, but the fashion they were eliminated. But guys like Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, I mean, Bray Wyatt, they were shit on in that match when they were eliminated. I mean, Dean Ambrose getting lifted up by his belt buckle and like put over the
gently.
That was ridiculous.
It was if they would have had the final four be like Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Ziggler, Roman Reigns, whatever, and they actually fought, I think people would have accepted him winning a little bit better than, well, that was pretty much just kind of...
Their theory was, we'll send out The Rock to endorse him, and then we'll have him fight Daniel Bryan, and then we'll have Daniel Bryan endorse him, and I don't think fans buy these endorsements.
No.
Because I know it's scripted. I mean, Paul Heyman coming out and endorsing him, too. People booed Paul Heyman when he started talking about it, because they were like, oh, you're going to feed us this crap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's weird, because Daniel Bryan's like, I hate you, but I respect you. Shake my hand.
That's a classic babyface thing to do.
Yeah, but then it leaves Daniel Bryan with nothing to do.
Right. Like, the WWE is in such a strange time right now.
Yeah.
Because they're still trying to appeal to kids, but like the demographic that grew up with the Attitude Era still want the WWE to be like, every week I want to watch this.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing kids are freaking out that Roman Reigns is in the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah. But like, the majority of your audience is just sitting there like, what are you doing to me?
Right.
Like, you're making me hurt physically. I don't know why I care so much.
Could it be the fact that we've grown out of their key demographic now? It's just
that's just it. It's like I don't hate WWE. Sometimes a lot of things I say are in a negative light against WWE. And that's only because I'm such a fan of it and I want to grow. I want it to be the same as it was. Like they pretty much followed me all the way up until I was an adult. If you can call me an adult.
Well, that's the thing. Because like when we were younger, it was geared towards kids, and then when we grew up, it went towards the teenage and the young adults, and then
we
now
felt like adults watching Attitude Era.
Because they adapted. They like changed to that.
And the thing that boggles my mind is that they've got the most talented roster that they're probably going to have, and it's only going to get better because of all the guys that they've got. But they just can't put together like storylines with consistency, with a aura of history and like engaging audiences.
They hire Hollywood scriptwriters.
Yeah, they have so many writers
yeah.
in there, and that's what
Too
ruins
many.
it. Like back in the Attitude Era, like I think it was Vince Russo and Ed Ferraro and Vince McMahon were writing the shows, and it's like ridiculous to think about like how they have like Hollywood movie writers who don't even watch wrestling and bring them in.
Well, and the thing is too, like back in the day, like when Undertaker had his supposed like powers and stuff like that, and like he was bringing he would bring the lights up and stuff with his hands. I mean, we bought into it back then, but nowadays people would just shit on that. It's like, okay, really? Yeah,
That's stupid.
He's really controlling the lights with his hands. And
They did that with Bray Wyatt when he had whatever that apparition was at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
That wasn't Sister Abigail. He said that.
And then there's like, well, I think it's also the internet too ruins everything because we know too much now.
That's very true.
We know everything about every guy now.
And filling 3 hours, 5 hours, you know.
Yeah, that's a
is
USA
rough.
thing. I think they wanted to do
yeah,
a 3-hour
and
show, but
I think Triple H said that he'd love to go back to 2 hours. And
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
NXT is the perfect template to show that like less time is generally pretty good.
and they let the women main event their shows.
Didn't
They're so good.
didn't WCW do 4-hour one time at one point?
They've
for
had
their
supersized
Nitro?
episodes, and it
Yeah, they did.
That
They
was
did a.
started the
ridiculous.
I
shit
remember
to
one
say.
time it was either a Nitro or a Thunder. They tried to do like a whole show without wrestling, so it was all just like backstage stuff. It was ridiculous.
It was like the first hour was
Yeah,
just,
just
all
all
promos.
promos. It
And
was
they
weird.
just got into the ring and did like a 2-minute match.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, WCW.
Right.
I just speaking of WCW, I just watched the Triple Cage Death on
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Uncensored 96. What the hell's going on? Still to this day, I don't know what's happening there.
They
was
really,
Russo, wasn't
they
it?
really should bring WCW back. Like, just let Eric Bischoff run it. And just
Not happening.
See what could happen with it. But let's talk about. You brought up NXT. The women. This is not on the board. I see you look up there like what? No.
This wasn't on the schedule.
This is on the
I mean,
script.
that's just the NXT. They're to me they're perfect in what they're doing because I mean for women to when was the last time if ever a Divas match main evented a show?
I think the last one was Lita in that cage match. Lita and Trish.
Lita and Trish.
Was it
in
cage match
2000
or just
No,
hardcore?
just a match. It's
Yeah.
when Lita suicide
Did the
dive
dive and
and
almost
like
killed herself.
her heels hit the back of her head.
Oh my god.
Not fun to watch, but no, yeah, that was like the last time.
2005, you said? Yeah.
2004, 2005, something like that.
I'm so worried that NXT is going to compete so much with WWE that Vince is going to cut the cord and be like, nah, let's start shitting on NXT. We can't have that become better than WWE because they're just on such a roll right now. Like I'm so entertained by every show that they put on. I don't think there's ever anything they do that's stupid. Like I can't name one person on the roster that I don't enjoy watching on there.
Bull Dempsey.
He's I don't know. I think he could go somewhere. I think right now they just don't have anything for him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's been
not the
losing
worst-
like every match ever.
I would say I'm not a huge fan of Kalisto and Sin Cara or whatever they call themselves.
Lucha Dragons.
Their matches they botch stuff so many times and that
That's the Sin Cara way, though. That's how Sin Cara does it.
They're the only ones that I cannot get behind, which I'm glad they're not the tag champs anymore. But I don't know. Charlotte and Sasha Banks put on a hell of a match. I still think like the Fatal 4-Way at their last pay-per-view was probably one of the best matches of the night. I mean, I don't know. Your thoughts? I mean, obviously you're trying to make it to WWE. I mean,
The way I describe it to my girlfriend is NXT is wrestling.
I'm your girlfriend?
WWE.
Oh.
It's you two.
Okay.
Nebraska's cool on it, remember?
Okay.
NXT is wrestling. WWE, like Raw, is sports entertainment. Where you're going to get the down and dirty basics on NXT.
Yeah.
And it works on such a great level because it's simple. It's wrestling. The storylines aren't overly complicated.
Like I hate to stop you right now, but the one that comes to mind that we were talking about last time was just Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, how simple that story was about they were best friends and he made it first.
And that happened in one night.
Right.
Like they did. Was it a 3-hour special or was it just 2?
It was in this 2-hour special.
Okay.
Yep.
They did a backstage segment where they just had, Owens look at Sammy as he's like little prepping, gave him a little head nod. I'm like, that blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, that's sweet. And then they see him come out later, first one to hug him.
Yeah.
Holy crap, they're like good friends. This means a lot to them. Fucking the turn, which I was just hoping for. I was like, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, no, everybody was like, it's going to happen. It's internet stream. And then it happened. And we're like, yes.
And then his reasoning is beautiful. Like, he has a family, he wants to support it, that he'll do anything for them.
You get more money with the belt.
It's the Walter White thing.
Yeah.
He's a bad
Protect
guy,
your family.
but he's doing it for a really great reason. But like I don't. NXT is just still an experiment, and it's going great right now. It's time's only going to tell what it becomes.
Well, the Kevin Owens and Alex Riley thing it's so simple too. It's just like he just stares at him. He comes out and he pours water on him and throws him over the table. Everything they're doing is working for them.
Was it Meltzer or Alvarez said that they built Alex Riley better than they've built Roman Reigns for WrestleMania?
Yeah,
right?
Like
I'm more
within
excited.
2 weeks.
I'm more excited to see Alex Riley versus Kevin Owens than I am Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
Is that taking place at Mania? Alex Riley?
No.
Oh, I was like, wow, the Mania just got a little bit better.
No, they should though. That would be great. But
It would be cool to see an NXT match there. I don't see it's going to happen, but I mean, they take a pretty front and center position at WrestleMania Access.
they kind of want to keep it as like a hidden gem, though. I think. I don't know.
And
that's kind of their mentality.
The ultimate move too, to make it a gem.
Instead of doing the Intercontinental ladder match, because I mean, yeah, as cool as it sounds, it's not going to be that cool of a match if it's on a WWE show. It's going to be, you can only do so much stuff. But they should have had like a traditional Survivor Series elimination match where Team WWE versus Team NXT, and like put guys like Dolph Ziggler and Ambrose and all the ones that were going to be in this up against some young up and comers in NXT. But no, instead we're going to have a ladder match where the only thing they're going to do is throw the ladder at somebody's back once, and that's it.
I have high hopes for the ladder match. That's the one that really sparked interest. That was the first thing that sparked interest this WrestleMania season when they announced that. I was like, cool. Because, I mean, I think it's going to be an 8-man now. It looks like they're going to throw Goldust and Stardust in the mix, that's sad right there. But,
yeah, I wish they would have got the WrestleMania match. They deserved it.
Well, I can tell you this: if the ladder match is not the opener, expect it to disappoint. If they start out WrestleMania with the ladder match, then okay, these guys are going to put it all on the line.
That's generally what they did, though. Even with the Money in the Bank, didn't that usually open?
Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, it's sad about Stardust and Goldust if they're just going to be thrown into this match.
I know they put him on Fastlane, and then they have a weird finish, which I don't know what that finish was. It's like
that whole Fastlane. There was a lot of mess ups. It seems like.
Yeah, it was a weird pay per view, and then like. They just deserve their match. I mean, Goldust deserves his WrestleMania match with his brother, and then they can end his career.
Well,
that's what I feel.
The thing to make it really cool to build up for WrestleMania is Stardust can say that their dad, Dusty, is the referee. And, like, if Goldust wins, then Stardust has to take the makeup off. And if Stardust wins, Goldust retires. And then that's when you throw in Dusty Rhodes as the referee. It's like, oh, shit.
And then Dusty has to count to 3 and retire his son.
Did you see that contact with Stardust?
I'm sorry, I love you again.
That kind of stuff. I'm sorry, I love you, super kick. What?
Dusty would be amazing in that, man.
That would be great. I don't know.
I got you a bicycle.
And again, it's such a simple story where it could be told without all this elaborate writing and I think the problem with WWE and their main roster is they overthink things too much. They're like, well, we have to throw this in and that and this and this. It's like just simple.
Yeah, they try and like outsmart the guys who think they know what's going on, but then it just takes a weird left turn, and you're like, why are you doing that?
It's like Daniel Bryan has no chance of being in WrestleMania main event, and then like, oh well, we're gonna just put this match together where there's a possibility that he might be in the main event just to throw you off.
He had reasoning.
Yeah,
he should have never been in the Royal Rumble.
No,
because they knew the.
What's funny is though, like when
Triple H how did he come back from the Royal Rumble? Or like, how did he come back after the Royal Rumble, and then be like, hey, I'm here. I've never got my rematch. Hey, Roman, what are you doing? And like,
yeah, that would have made. If you would have showed up on the Raw after the Royal Rumble and said, "Hey, you're not going to Mania. never lost the belt. That would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to make him like the SmackDown guy or something so they could pimp out SmackDown moving to Fridays or Thursdays from Friday to Thursday.
We've kind of segued over to Mania here. We are going to Mania. This is my first time going. We're going for the documentary that we're making. Mark's, it's still real to me. What are you doing for Mania?
Probably gonna watch it on the WWE Network for $9.99.
Ah, nice plug.
Your check will be in the mail.
I want my royalties.
Let's go around. Let's do this.
We should do a roundtable discussion since we actually have a roundtable.
We could do. I was gonna say like ESPN when they do for college game day when they do their predictions. Why are you laughing?
I got my Taker hat so I can do the Lee Corso.
So let's start with the Intercontinental match. Let's discuss that and let's do our predictions.
So name all the guys in that because I can't even think off the top of my head who's in the Intercontinental.
I'm going to try it. He's going to look it up. I'm going to try it from memory. Let's see how much of a fan I am. Wade Barrett,
Okay.
Dolph Ziggler,
Okay.
Daniel Bryan,
I already.
Dean Ambrose, R-Truth,
Goldust,
Goldust, Stardust, and there's one missing here.
R-Truth.
Harper, yep.
All right, there we go. We got the list. I'll go first since I'm taking the mic here, taking the reins, the Roman reigns. Anybody? Okay.
Shut up.
I got Daniel Bryan winning it. It'd be perfect for him. Win that title, bring some, basically legitimize that title again, and then he can be out there and wrestle every night. I said this last time, but I think he should just defend it every night. And that's my pick. That's what I'd love to see. Probably realistically going to happen too. So,
I agree. I think they're going to try to give him that moment again with the IC title. A lot of his fans aren't going to accept it, which is sad. But I think this WrestleMania, it looks like they could be building something like of a future. I've had this discussion before, and I think they're trying to bring prestige. They're bringing prestige back to these titles, and we'll talk about the United States title later. But if Daniel Bryan wins it, I think there'll be more prestige to the IC title again.
Okay, I'll go.
This one hurts. The round table. It goes like around the table.
You know what? I never learned shapes.
You see what we're doing?
I'm so sorry. I only know squared circle. Even still, I'd be wrong.
That's
but
a
whatever.
That's a hard one to come. A squared circle. Like, how do you understand?
Have you ever tried to explain that to people?
I don't understand it.
It's just dumb.
Every day of my life.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan's just the easy. Like, it's probably the best choice. Although I want to see each of these guys have, like, the win. I freaking love Luke Harper. I love Dean Ambrose. Ziggler, of course. R-Truth has been weirdly amazing the last, 3 weeks out of nowhere.
R-Truth is good.
Probably because his job's on the line. Like, if you don't produce in this match, you're done.
You don't produce before the show, you're done. Yeah. And Gold and Stardust should have a singles match in themselves.
Well, they put the title on Goldust.
I'd take it.
Yeah?
Yeah, the guy's been doing amazing for the last 2 years that he's been here. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice little nostalgia bump and then whatever. But ultimately, I think Daniel Bryan will do it.
They could set up a program with Goldust and Stardust for the IC title. I could see that.
Yeah.
Who I want to win is different than who is probably going to win. Who I'd want to win would be Dean Ambrose. The reason I don't think that's going to happen is because I don't think Dean Ambrose makes a good face. He needs to be a heel. And I think by him losing, I think that might set up for him a heel turn. Who I think is going to win is, if they are indeed in it, I think Stardust is going to win it. I think Goldust is going to be seconds away from grabbing the belt, and then Stardust is going to come in and take it. So next up on the list, I think this one it's under their rumored matches, but I think it's pretty much a guaranteed match. Let's go with the Divas match. AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bellas.
You got to make the Bellas look strong. Bellas are going to win. Total Divas for the win. That's what I say. Love to see it go some other way, give Divas a chance, but probably the Bellas are probably going to win.
That one's kind of hard for me. I could see it going either way, but in the end, I think the Bellas are the poster women of the Divas right now.
Yeah.
And Honestly, I've never really had a big issue with the Bellas. I think they could be pretty decent in the ring. They just really never had a chance to really shine too, like with a lot of the other divas. I think it could be good. And I like AJ and Paige. AJ's my favorite diva hands down, so I don't know. I'd probably go with the diva or with the Bellas on that one too.
I'd love to see it go the other way, but the Bellas probably.
I think it will. I just AJ coming off her return. Paige, this is her first WrestleMania. Well, now that I say that out loud, it'll probably go to the Bellas. You know what? I'm dumb. No.
She's think about it. Yeah.
No, yeah, like the Bellas have done really well, getting better in the ring the last year.
Oh yeah.
Still don't know why Bree's just going along with Nikki out of nowhere.
The
servant.
That storyline doesn't make any sense. They're like, I hate you. Well, you're my servant, and now we're friends again.
Yeah.
Because Total
sisters.
Divas.
Because sisters.
Because sisters.
and Total Divas. But
because sisters. We need a shirt that says because sisters.
It doesn't even make any sense. I love it.
It doesn't need to.
I would love that. I'm sure this it says because
let's
sisters.
make those and wear them to Mania.
Because
sisters.
Because sisters.
Did they mean big
And we'll
sisters?
put quote in quotes and write Devin Thomas at the bottom. Because sisters.
just have a weird space so it looks like you're going to have something else in there. And then it's just like, because sisters. What?
Oh my god.
But the Bellas. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with the Bellas. I think Stephanie McMahon may get involved with this one and enhance a feud with AJ. If they decide, like, whether that whole thing was a shoot or not with AJ talking shit on Stephanie. I mean, I don't know. I doubt it because that's too good. That's too edgy, I think, of a storyline for Stephanie McMahon to agree to do. Because I think Stephanie's one of the reasons why Be a Star campaigns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Bellas are going to be strong, which I don't know. Yeah, I still don't understand why one's the servant.
Because sisters.
Because sisters. Because sisters. That's all you have to say.
We can only hope that the match goes longer than like 3 minutes, though, too.
Oh, it won't. It's gonna be that's gonna be the popcorn match.
My complaint about
get
this is why can't you have the Divas title defended at WrestleMania? Come on.
You could do a 4-way pretty easily.
No, they're gonna
just make them turn, or not turn, but like just say, hey, we want the Divas title defended. You four are the epitome of the Divas division. Go for it.
Because sisters, unless the Divas title is involved.
Yeah.
That would be cool if they went the Fatal 4-Way, but they refused to have the Divas Championship put on the line. And last year, the first time that they did it, they wedged it right after the Undertaker's streak losing.
Yeah, that was
like,
worst
what?
timing.
Is it really the first time that they ever defended it last year?
Yeah, that was the first ever.
Oh, boy.
And it was in a battle royal.
Give Divas a chance, guys.
Well, I mean, there was the longest time where the Intercontinental title wasn't defended
There
at
was a few
WrestleMania.
years.
That's because they'd always have those guys in the Money in the Bank match, I think.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Money in the Bank, there is no Money in the Bank, so let's go to this match.
Great segue. Great segue.
Because sisters.
The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The participants that are on here are The Miz, Ryback, Curtis Axel, Fandango, Zack Ryder, Adam Rose, and Jack Swagger.
And the Big Show, he's going to win it.
Yeah, probably.
I still have to ask, I got to ask you guys this question. Why is it an Andre Battle Royal? Because was Andre like the king of the Battle Royals? Am I missing something here? Or is it just a nice way to say thank you for all your work, Andre?
Shut up.
Because sisters.
Because Andre.
Because Andre.
I don't know. I think
They kinda,
the first
I think-
Royal Rumble winner was Big John Studd.
No.
Hacksaw?
Hacksaw.
Okay.
Was it Hacksaw?
That was Hacksaw.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just a force in there. Like
I
maybe
don't
in a few years it'll be the Big Show Memorial. Like he was a huge dude. We never knew if we could eliminate him, but we always did.
But that would make more sense because I think Big Show, he's been in Royal Rumbles.
But he
Battle
never
Royals,
won.
But,
So.
Yeah.
but like Andre, I don't know.
Okay,
well,
so
and last year, the results of last year's kind of shit on this the prestige of the Andre.
So the list of these guys again, one more time so I can pick my pick.
The Miz, Ryback, Curtis Axel, Fandango, Zack Ryder, Adam Rose, Jack Swagger, and apparently, who was the other one that you said was in it? Somebody said...
I said
Show.
Big Show.
Oh, Big Show, okay.
And Kane maybe. I think Mizdow, is he in there?
Well, I mean, there would have to be
More
like
than likely.
20 to 30 guys in order for this to make sense.
I heard 20 is the
My
final count for that.
my thing is Miz is wins it or whatever, and then Mizdow throws him out. That would be the ultimate ending to it and put Mizdow over where he deserves. But probably the Miz is probably just gonna win it. I don't know. Logan?
We're stealing kind of the same picks here because I think Mizdow. This is the Mizdow's moment right here. They're gonna give it to him here. I mean, this is a hell of a way to push him in WWE's terms. Like, I hate the prestige of the Andre the Giant trophy because there is none. I mean, last year it was great for Cesaro, and then a week later he destroys it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could do a thing with Miz becomes his personal assistant and he has to carry the trophy around. That would be pretty good.
That would be awesome.
Like
But
that.
they just be friends again because
sisters.
because sisters.
Sisterhood, bro.
Got stunt double.
The brotherhood. Okay, your thoughts?
Yeah, I see the Mizdow thing happening. But because they don't have any really prestige with winning it, like if they were to get like a title shot or something, totally get it. Or just like a title shot to a secondary title. How about that? So Mizdow would totally be the right winner. I think people are going to start seeing Ryback go for it.
Yeah.
But I so want Curtis Axel to win.
Axelmania.
So
Good point.
now that you brought that up, it's just like, what is the meaning behind this? You win and you get to carry this ginormous trophy around?
Yep.
Well,
That's
it
like-
goes from the pre-show to the show. You know, it's a way to get everybody on.
It's like,
And I don't
I mean-
understand, like, you just did the Royal Rumble. Like, why would
Yeah.
you do another?
Like, if there was an incentive to it,
Right,
I'd be
that's-
totally for it. But, like, last year, well, and they could explain it at any time, but, like, say you get a title shot of your choosing, you know?
Oh, well, here's what's going to happen.
Something.
It's gonna become just as popular as the Money in the Bank. We're gonna have WWE Andre Memorial Battle Royal as a pay-per-view.
well, I don't really care about this match. I had said it on the last podcast. I hope Ryback wins. I think they dropped the ball on him. I guess this could be a way to get momentum going back under him. But, yeah, I'm sure it'll probably, whoever wins will make no sense. It'll probably just be The Miz. He'll probably ask Mizdow to get out of the ring, and he will, and we'll continue on with this whole stunt double thing. But crossing my fingers, I'm hoping it's Ryback. Okay, let's go to the United States Championship, where we have Rusev defending against John Cena.
I got Cena over. Bring some prestige to the U.S. title. Bring back the spinner title. Then you can have Daniel Bryan as John Cena as the two mid card guys. But I'd love to see him swerve it the other way and have Rusev win it because I think it would be so much more. There'd be more story to come out of it with John Cena losing. Like I said before, John Cena could sit on the entrance ramp again and look shocked, like, "Oh my God, I lost again. My legacy is over," or whatever. But I think it's going to go to John Cena. Although I'd love to see Rusev win it.
I wasn't really excited for this match until this past Monday for Monday Night Raw, where Stephanie came out and had the whole, imagine a WrestleMania without John Cena. You don't have a match right now because Rusev doesn't want to fight you, which was a great storyline to begin with. Rusev just comes out and just says, "No, you're not getting another title shot. I'm done with you."
Yeah, that was great.
So Stephanie comes out and says, "Hey, you don't have a match. We're not going to have John Cena on a WrestleMania. How's that feel?" And just basically crapped all over John Cena. And he's just sitting there like at a loss. And then Rusev comes out and puts another stake in the heart. It's like, no, still not getting that title shot because that's the only way you're going to get this WrestleMania match. Now, I hate it because I can kind of see where they're going to go in the next couple weeks. John Cena's going to do something crazy to get his title shot to make Rusev say, "Yeah, okay, we'll take it." I think a prediction I've heard is like John Cena's going to put the STF on Rusev, and Lana's going to make the match. Like just basically terrorize Rusev. He's gonna have his like arm twisted. And John Cena always comes out of these predicaments he's in. Oh, I'm not gonna have a WrestleMania match. Well, I'm gonna do something insane to get my WrestleMania match. It's like I got fired by the Nexus. I'm gonna come back 2 weeks later and get my job back. It's like these silly things I hate, but I like the direction they're kind of going right now. And my prediction is Cena to go the mid card prestige route for the U.S. title.
What is this, WrestleMania 20? Is that when he won the U.S. title from Big Show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all begins again.
Yeah.
Nah. I would love to see Rusev come out on top of it. Getting there, I've heard a scary thing where they might blow his undefeated streak by Curtis Axel beating him because Cena interferes.
What?
When's this post? Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
So if this happens on Monday, holy shit, right? But that's what I've read, and it could be completely wrong. But yeah, I think you could still bring enough prestige with Rusev retaining. But I know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
My hope is that Rusev retains, but I know it's Cena. But in my heart of hearts, Rusev.
Well, you all say Cena, so I'm going to be the oddball out. I'm going to say Rusev's going to win.
You would.
He just said Rusev.
You said you want him to, but you're going to pick Cena.
I don't want to.
Well,
But I didn't.
well, you're picking Cena then. I'm picking Rusev. There's no Cena in this.
Rusev crush.
He's going to crush him, and then Lana's going to take her top off and have a guy snort a line of coke off of her boobs.
Yes, I've seen that movie. Actually, I've seen that scene, but
Next match?
Yeah, next match. Okay. Let's go with
I'm all for that Lana cocaine thing happening.
Yeah.
Don't cut that short.
The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt in a match that should have taken place last year.
I got Taker winning it. I'd love Bray to win and become the next Undertaker, but I say them setting up for Sting and Taker next year, so this is the way they're going to do it. Have Undertaker win, go against Sting next year, and I don't know. And plus, Bray Wyatt can never win any big matches unless a TV explodes in his face, as we've said 1,000 times over. But I got Bray losing, Taker looking strong for WrestleMania against Sting next year.
I got Bray winning. I think this would be a shocking moment, another WrestleMania moment where all of a sudden Undertaker's on a losing streak at WrestleMania, and it passes the torch.
What if they do like a third, and 21
and 2?
Like he just keeps losing until he gets 21 losses again.
Oh my God.
I see it would be a shocking moment. The fans would accept this.
Put your hands on your head at WrestleMania.
That's what Jeremy wants to do that the whole time. Just
I'm gonna
hands on
be
the head the whole time.
be on television. I'm gonna be on the network going like this because I'm gonna have my hands on my head the whole time.
And I still think at 21-2, it still sets up for a Sting and Undertaker match because, Bray Wyatt can say, Undertaker is gone, blah, blah, blah. Sting can come out with something next year to bring The Undertaker back, and it's a retirement match. Like, no, you're not going away that easy. I want you. They have to have a big marquee match like that for WrestleMania 32 because they want to break that attendance record of 90,000, and, well, Dallas would be the place to do it. So, 90,000. 90,000.
Wink.
In quotes. So you're telling me it didn't really happen?
Yes, I am telling you that.
Okay.
So Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, The Undertaker. The Undertaker.
I want Bray Wyatt. Just about the same reasons. I think they can still do a way to do probably like a double retirement match with him and Sting. Because really, like, we probably just want to see the spectacle of it.
A double retirement.
I know.
That's
it sounds ridiculous. And
that's what should have happened with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I think they should have had a double retirement match, And they both just go out.
Can we make it a fatal 4-way retirement match and throw in Big Show and
Kane?
All of you are going to get fired no matter what.
Doesn't matter who wins.
So you want Bray to win?
Is
that what you think the outcome's going to be?
Yeah, and like the way he said it, I think it would still be very shocking that The Undertaker would come back and he'd get beat again. Yeah, and they need to really start setting up for the future. Yeah. More so. Like, because the main event, we'll get to that, but like...
Don't tell anybody.
The top of the card is like part-timers. They're selling this whole pay-per-view on part-timers right now.
Yeah.
So they need to kind of start really ramping up like what they're going to do in the next few years. So like they do a storyline. I thought it was great when Bray said like when he was a kid, he was the face of evil. Like, I thought they were going to evolve more on that and say, like, Bray, like, followed in his footsteps, and now you're weak and blah. Yeah. Which they've done. So, I want to see Bray Wyatt win.
I want Bray to win as well, but to me, he wins. It's not going to be exciting because Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar last year. But the only thing that would make it cool is if at the end of the match, Undertaker did something that was symbolic of passing the torch to Bray Wyatt.
That's what I said. I said the urn. He has to hand him the urn if that happens. But that would never happen.
No, it's not going to. The urn hasn't played a
The urn is actually, it was on SmackDown on Thursday. Bray Wyatt stole the urn on
Really?
SmackDown.
Boom.
So it's already there. So there's going to be no.
I missed that.
We know how it go.
Urn
We know
passing.
how storylines go when something gets stolen. No,
One
anyway.
day you'll get it back.
It's
You'll have to earn that title back.
You son of a...
You haven't earned it yet.
You haven't earned it.
Son of a
URND.
You're
Yeah,
too
just-
green.
Wouldn't that be something?
I get it.
If at the end of Bray Wyatt beats the Undertaker, Undertaker hands him the urn and stuff like that, and then Stevie Richard comes out and attacks him and steals the urn. Like, man, he's got so much stuff that he's stealing.
What a great gimmick.
His name's going to be Steely Richards.
Steely Richard.
Instead of dancing Steven Richards, it's stealing Steven Richards.
Anyways, yeah.
He'll
so
be on TMZ with his mugshot and everything. It's gonna be great.
let's go on to the match that's going to be the biggest disappointment in WrestleMania history: Triple H versus Sting.
Sting, because he's gonna go against Taker the following year, and that's it. But I don't get the story. Are they still going with that story where he's trying to put WWE out of business? Right? Wasn't that Triple H's thinking of why Sting came in?
Yes.
Are they still doing that?
Yes.
What is that? That doesn't make any sense. Then.
No.
So if he beats Triple H, then WWE's done.
I'm going to go with Sting as well. Triple H has a terrible WrestleMania record, 8-10, and he
Did beat Booker T though. Remember that one?
He loses these big matches because it's to put something over for the next show. And Sting and Undertaker, I feel, is going to happen, or at least Sting's going to have one more match, and he's going to put Sting over. I mean, they're not going to bring Sting in to have Triple H just win it. You know, everybody says Triple H buries people, but Sting's a legend. I don't think Triple H is going to bury Sting.
I think they're gonna wait till the Raw and then have them face off, Sting and Taker.
Yeah,
The next
that
Monday
would be
Night
cool,
Raw.
like
That
a
would
night
be cool.
after Raw moment.
The awesome crowd.
The night after Raw or after
Or night after
Mania?
Raw.
Yeah.
The night
After
after
Mania.
Raw on
Yeah.
the house
Those are the
Wednesday
best.
afternoon, guys.
show. Saturday
going
morning
down.
Slam is coming back, and they're going to announce the match there.
But yeah, I see Sting winning this one. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a spectacle. Nobody really knows how Sting's going to be. Nobody really knows how Triple H is going to be. Triple H hasn't wrestled in a year now. I think the last one was WrestleMania for him too. Sting, how many freaking years has he been out of the ring? So we'll see. It's up in the air. I kind of have I have low expectations, but I'm hoping I'll be shocked.
Correction. Last time we wrestled was against The Shield with Evolution last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at this,
Okay.
Mark.
Totally forgot about
Damn
that.
straight. I even
That was a
started
great match,
wrestling
too.
about it. Right. I started
Because
wrestling.
sisters.
That was Extreme Rules, was it?
And the next month.
Oh,
Because-
Battleground, something like that. Yeah.
So
They did 2 months.
what's your thoughts
Okay.
on this match?
Yeah, it'll be a spectacle. They're two vets. They know they don't really need to do. They're not going to do anything insane, but they're going to work a good match. Hopefully, a good match. But I go with Sting.
This match is going to have two amazingly theatrical entrances, and then the bell's going to ring, and that's when it's going to be over, and everybody's going to lose interest. I don't think Sting has it in him to put on a good match, even with Triple H. If anything, if this match is good, it's going to be all thanks to Triple H helping put Sting over. But I think it's going to be Sting because, yeah, it is going to be a setup for him and Undertaker. Whichever match is first, whether it's Undertaker and Bray or whatever, I think Undertaker Bray is going to be before Sting and Triple H. And I'm going to be really pissed off if this is the main event. If it's the main event is Triple H versus Sting, I'm going to be really pissed off. Even though Brock and Roman's not much better, but they're at least younger guys in their prime. But yeah, Sting's going to win, and then Taker's bell's going to toll, which kind of makes me want to rethink Undertaker losing. I think if Undertaker's going to come out and challenge Sting, he's going to have to beat Bray. So maybe I'll change it to I think Undertaker's going to win. Sting's going to win. Boom, Undertaker's music.
I just saw that Seth Rollins have a match at Mania. Did I miss that?
No, he does not have anything.
predicting
Anything.
against Randy Orton. They're still.
Oh,
kinda
yeah, that
building
match.
That'll probably get made.
So do we
this
want to
week or
talk
next.
about that one then,
Yeah.
Seth and Orton?
Well, that's probably going to take place on the free-for-all thing or whatever it is, because they'll, yeah, we can talk about that.
I guess Orton, RKO out of nowhere. Doesn't matter if Seth loses, really, because he still got Money in the Bank. I think, hopefully, cash in.
Not going to happen. Too predictable.
Night after Mania.
No, at Mania. First time ever.
The night after would be much better because the crowd response will be so much better.
Yeah.
They did that
For the-
once, though, with Ziggler.
Yeah, they did it with Ziggler.
For the wrong way, though.
Yeah.
That crowd will love it.
Yeah.
It's not going to get heat like they probably want
Yeah.
from Seth.
No.
So, guess I got to go with Randy Orton winning RKO out of nowhere, and doesn't matter to Seth, I think, still. Your thoughts?
I'll go with Seth. Seth, I don't know. Maybe Randy Orton. Because, I mean, Seth, he doesn't really...
Which is it?
I'm going to go with Randy Orton. Because I think Seth kind of has to branch off into something else before they really hand it over. They're taking their precious time with Seth, which is good. This is what they should have did with Roman. And this is why Seth is such a monster heel, and he just aligned. He had an evolution of character. So this is great. I mean, I think Randy Orton will put him over just to further the storyline. And I'd see Seth going over at like Extreme Rules or something like that in some sort of Extreme Rule match.
I see Orton. Just
You see Orton, or
I do see Orton. I
see
see Orton
dead people.
winning.
I see voices in Orton's head. They talk to me because sisters.
All the way around, didn't you? You got it.
That's how the round table works.
Yeah, I just see Orton winning. My only problem with it is that they do such an awesome job building up Rollins for the entire year, not to have him do something more prominent at WrestleMania, which
Yeah.
is something
That's
they've been
sad.
doing for years.
They do that all the time, though.
Like, yeah, and it's just another time with that, and yeah, I just see Orton winning just because there's no real
Sisters.
reasoning.
Because Orton.
I think I hope Seth wins just because I think Randy Orton's going to try to do what he can to help put over a younger generation because he knows how important it is to be put over by somebody. Because I think Undertaker putting Orton didn't win, but at WrestleMania 21. That was the first time I ever thought that Undertaker's streak was about to end. I really thought Randy Orton was the one that was going to do it. And even though Orton lost, I think that catapulted his career. So I think Orton's going to try to give back. However, I do feel that if Seth Rollins wins, he will not be cashing in later that night. But if he loses, I think that's going to throw everybody off. And then I think he might cash in at the end of the night. Just because I think everybody online is talking about how he's going to cash in and blah, blah, blah. So WWE thinks they're smart by having him lose, and they'll be like, he's done for the night. But hopefully it's Seth. That's my pick. So we go to the main event. We've talked about it already before, but we didn't really kind of say who we thought was going to win. It's our WWE Heavyweight Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
This is a tough call because it's all depending on Brock's contract with WWE. Say if Brock's sticking around, he'll probably... Well, no, I can't say that. He's probably going to put over Roman Reigns, regardless of how it goes. But I don't know. Brock could pull that card, that vet card, and say, nope, I want the title or I'm leaving. We'll see, though. It's interesting. It's tough to call. I guess I'll go with Roman, though. And then you can have a Seth cash-in on Roman, set up for a Roman and Seth feud, which would be cool. And that's what I got.
I'd say Brock, regardless of contracts or not. I think Brock is going to win, setting up for a cash-in, either on that night or on Monday Night Raw. That's kind of my prediction there. And it's sad how underwhelming this match is. I think it could have potential. I think Brock is great if Roman Reigns had a little bit more evolution of character, a little bit more moves to the arsenal.
Yeah.
Then it could be interesting. But we'll see. Maybe he's purposely holding off. Maybe he has a few tricks up his sleeve we haven't seen yet. So I'm one of those things like, yeah, on paper it sucks right now to me, but I could be shocked. There's been matches before that have shocked me at WrestleMania. So put it all on the table. It's their time to shine. Everybody talks about a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's kind of like an interesting, like, I love when I don't know what's going to happen in WWE, like when they obviously plan that, and it's like so many options. This is like a real world one where it's like, oh, if he signs, then probably he'll stay. So I don't want that news to go out or anything,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is going to be fantasy book real quick. I want Brock Lesnar to win, and Seth Rollins comes to cash out. reignite a feud with Dean Ambrose. He comes running out to stop him. They all turn around on Lesnar, fucking gang up on him, cash in on him, Shield reunite at WrestleMania 31. What?
God.
What?
I would
And
love
that,
that.
my
I wish
friends,
that
is
happened.
overbooking.
That would never happen. I don't even think that would have happened in the Attitude Era. Man,
I'd like to see the Shield reunite.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
if that happens, I will do something for you. Non-sexual.
Nope.
Non-sexual. Non-sexual, damn it. I think
If that happens at WrestleMania, I'm literally gonna put my hands on my head. Like,
if that happens, I'm gonna tweet you a bunch of pictures of me. Like
he doesn't use social media, so he'll never see it.
No, I do.
he
I see everything.
he'll
I'm
just-
like a watcher. I
he'll-
just kind of watch from afar.
He'll just retweet a
Picking
picture
boogers.
of my hands.
Jason,
on my head.
right?
I didn't tell you which head my hands are going to be on. But
You're there at Mania.
dang. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar winning. I think contract or not, he'll at least.
So am I the only one that said Roman? I think so.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw this out
you're a
there.
bandwagon.
Do you think this whole contract thing might be a play? Could
I
be
said
a
that.
shoot?
I said that on the last
work, you mean?
episode.
Well, whatever. Work.
I said that on
A
the
work
last episode.
shoot,
I think it is. I mean,
A work shoot.
I don't know. That's giving Vince a lot of credit to do something like that.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's put one over on all the internet fans. But Vince has surprised me.
That could be a
several
Triple
times.
H thing. I could see Triple H. Oh, let me troll these fans a little bit and make them think this is going to happen. Because I think people are now thinking, oh, Roman's definitely going to win now because Brock is not going to re-sign with WWE. So
Right. Well, hopefully, overall, my expectations for WrestleMania 31 are not very high. However, last year's Mania was the first Mania since 25 that actually wasn't a complete failure.
I will.
in my
I will
eyes.
say this though. Someone in the comments said you're an idiot for not thinking any WrestleManias from 25 to 30 were good. So,
Does
there's-
that shock me?
so
No,
there's
it
that.
doesn't.
There's that.
I thought last year's was probably one of the more complete ones we've seen in a long
Yeah.
time.
Right.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a.
Although I
was great.
hated, I wasn't a fan of the main event where it's just like, let's just throw Daniel Bryan in it, and then it was
Yeah,
his
but,
moment
like,
though. But it was
It's the same thing where you build a guy for
Yeah.
half the year and then you don't throw him in the main event because he's earned it and like
the way they went about it. They could have done it differently.
yeah, definitely.
But I still think they should have put the belt on Batista and have him promote it during Guardians of the Galaxy. But
Yeah.
I think 29 was a good WrestleMania too. Just throwing that out there. It was pretty good.
I don't even remember.
That was
the
CM
matches.
Punk, Undertaker, Triple H,
See,
Brock
like,
Lesnar.
Like I was telling you earlier, that was like the last Undertaker thing that when Punk challenged the Undertaker, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I was like, this is going to be so awesome. But it just didn't deliver. It was just, there was a lot of the Manias have been
I'm with him.
lackluster.
Yeah, I thought they were amazing in that match.
He did that elbow drop where he almost killed himself.
the build-up was awesome, but the match itself was just, I mean,
that was a totally different Taker match though. Like
How so?
CM Punk going after Taker the entire time,
Oh,
like
yeah.
begging him, egging him on.
Well,
like
that-
that was great stuff that you just
Great
like,
storytelling.
Like, that was probably all CM Punk, though. That was probably his idea.
Yeah, probably.
But no, I don't know. I think what really did it for me was WrestleMania 26, Vince versus Brett. That was that was.
Oh no! I can,
That was
I can
my
top
wrestling-
it.
And if there is anybody out there that comments and says that was a great match, I am going to come to their
Well,
house,
it was
Can-
so
can-
stupid.
fart on their pillows,
Hold
so they
on,
get
let me
pink
say
eyes.
this. Let me say this about that match where they're like, the hearts are with Vince, and it's like, no, just kidding. And I'm like, what?
That shows how some fans are easily persuaded. It's like, oh yeah, all this shit that's gone on with the McMahon and the Hearts, and they're on Vince's side.
That was my first Mania live, and it was just as awkward live as it was on TV. We were just kind of sitting there like, what's happening right now?
What about Jerry the King Lawler versus Michael Cole?
God.
That went for 25 minutes.
Did he put his foot in his mouth or something?
I
don't remember.
choose to forget. Like
26 and 27 were not good. WrestleManias.
would you take that or Hart versus McMahon?
I would probably.
I'd probably take
Choose Cole and Lawler.
choose
Cole
the
and
classic.
Cole and Lawler.
Cole and Lawler for sure for
Oh,
that one.
All Bret Hart did was hit him with a chair like 1,000 times. It was
Yeah,
hard
but then
to watch.
then you saw like David Hart Smith and Tyson Kidd do the old Hart Foundation.
yeah.
If I had
thing of
some,
Vince McMahon who took a wicked bump on the outside.
if I had some sort of magic wand and it was Bret Hart in his prime and Vince McMahon back then, Bret Hart and
that
Vince
would've
McMahon, that would have been killer.
No, it's I don't know. I know my expectations, and a lot of the people that say on your page and stuff that say I'm an idiot or whatever. Well, they're probably
100% correct.
They're probably like, no, they're not correct. How are they correct?
Because you're an idiot.
Yeah, well, they're probably like 13 years old and play video games, and they're the ones that support John Cena. And there's
So
nothing wrong with
apparently, if they're 13 and play video games, they can't be associated with you at all.
No, but what I was getting at is that they're easily entertained. They're the ones that cheer for John Cena and boo for the bad guys.
You don't know that for a fact.
Oh, I bet you.
Because you're 13 and you play video games, you have to like John Cena.
I want the people that said that in the last comment. They need to leave
You have such a closed mind.
Their age. This makes me sound like a creeper. You need
Age, sex, location.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Jeremy does not.
It's like we had said this on the last
He
one
likes to
too.
say
It's
he's a
like
nice guy.
we
but-
have to have thick skin because people are going to say shit all the time. People say bad things about you. They say bad things about me. I don't care.
Would you please leave your age, sex, location in the comments below, along with your address, so that we can confirm?
That's Tony, by the way. I don't want that. I was just kidding. That sounds creepy.
Now you're backing out of it.
Chris Hansen's going to show up.
Be nice to Devin, though. He's sensitive.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. Devin's the only nice guy we've ever had in this studio, for real.
Is, for real. Okay, so we got about like 15 minutes left till we hit the 2-hour mark here. So, real quick, let's talk a little bit more about Devin Thomas. Now, you do indie wrestling. We said before. Hell of an athlete. If you guys have not seen his stuff, you need to go to magnum-bro.com. Go to the Magnum on Demand for $4.99. Yes, I'm plugging it. For $4.99, you can get each of our shows. They're about like 2 hours, 3 hours long, somewhere in there.
Depending if
I would watch some of his recent stuff. I would get the anniversary show, which is the January 31st show where he took on Red Wing, and probably one of the best matches.
I will
I've
say
seen.
that was probably the best match that we have called thus far because there was so much story to tell.
Oh yeah,
and I just love watching that match.
You guys delivered, but so yeah, check out him in action, and he also does 3XW, and you said Kansas City now.
Yeah, I'll be going to Metro Pro April 4th. Getting some dates up in Minnesota. Hoping to get branch out to Chicago. Wink. Hey, what's up? Yeah.
So
working around the Midwest, man.
Let me ask you this: is your ultimate goal to get to WWE, or what is your wrestling goal right now?
That'd be fantastic.
Or just trying to learn your craft right now?
Well, of course, I'm just gonna learn as much as I can right now, and I've gotten some advice where you almost can't drop everything and be a wrestler of old anymore.
Yeah.
With just everything going on, like families and all that stuff, and so. Ultimately, yeah, I want to get there. It's just going to be maybe a different path than old timers used to get there, but
yeah,
just get myself out there, get some exposure, get in the right audiences.
Well, I do truly believe, and I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here, but like you have the it factor. When you wrestle, I mean, you captivate.
When you wrestle,
attention.
you wrestle.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think it's going to be no time at all. I guarantee you'll be training with WWE. You'll be on NXT. You'll be taking on guys like Tyler Breeze and stuff like that. But I really do think that you're going to make it. But the one thing I want to say is like you don't travel all over the United States, but you get to travel around the Midwest. You have any crazy stories on the road?
Here we go.
Yeah, it's gonna get juicy.
Get the soundboard out.
It's gonna get juicy. Howard Stern.
Show me your boobies.
Road story. One that was just a story from hell. We went up to North Dakota. It was about 20 minutes from the Canadian border. It was a group of us here in Omaha. So we went there for 2 days. It was a Friday and Saturday show. We ended up they got us a hotel, and it was really awesome stuff for the 2 days. We start packing up Saturday night, and we were going to leave that Sunday morning. They tell us that there's going to be a huge ass winter storm that's going to be hitting North Dakota, and wrestler mentality, we're like, yeah, we're good, we'll be fine. So we start driving, and like we get about an hour into our trip, and it's like it's coming down. Snow's like kind of going parallel, but nothing's really gathering all too much. We start driving a bit more. We're about 2 hours in, and we've probably gotten we had to slow down because the visibility is about 15 feet ahead of the car. So we hit a city that took us, like, from our destination to there, it took us probably like 2 hours on the front end. On the back end, it took 4.5 hours to get to this one point. And also a North Dakota drive for us is like almost 11 hours preface.
Yeah.
And so I ended up taking over driving around 4 hours in, and just lo and behold, like 10.5 hours go by and we're like just getting into Iowa, and we're getting to a highway where we get a notification that they blocked off the highways. So we have to drive all the way into Minnesota and come back out on a parallel highway.
Oh no.
I get done driving. It's about 3:00 in the morning. I started at 4 or something like that. And like Brian Gott was in the car with me, and like he was the next one to drive. And he was just like, I guarantee once I start driving, there's gonna be no snow. Like, I fucking hate you if this happens. No. I'm gonna try and get some sleep, but if this happens, I get in the back and like we start driving in about 30 minutes. There's no snow. The fucking ground is just clear, and he has a freaking straightaway back home to Council Bluffs or wherever we all parked together. It was the trip ended up taking like 17.5 hours.
Jesus.
It was not crazy, just miserable. And like I owe Donnie Pepper Cricket some suspension in his van, because there were some snowbanks that I had to pick up some speed for. And I don't think we would have made it had I not. But, yeah, I owe him pretty well.
I would imagine, like, how many guys do you normally pack in a car when you go places?
You know, depending on what we've got, try and get 5 at least. You know, sometime we'll get a Suburban, and we can get a few more people, but...
I can imagine the car smelling like a big old bottle of Axe bottle spray after a show.
It smells like a middle school boys' locker room. It's disgusting.
I love those smells.
Oh, Axe Phoenix, me too, bro. Just a waft of it.
So who do you? You said Red Wing is like one of your favorite guys to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else that you just step in the ring and whenever you do, like, magic happens?
Stephen King has been one of those. I think we've faced like 3 times too. Like the first time was maybe.
Now you got to clarify. You're not talking about Stephen King.
Stephen King or SM King, who
Okay.
wrestles around this
Not
area.
the author, Stephen.
No.
I can imagine somebody listening.
Hell of
like,
a worker.
Like the first time we wrestled, it was like a 5-minute match, and it was fine. And then like every time that we've gotten in there, we've been able to build on something, and just had a really good time with him. John West out in Des Moines, he's a lot of fun to wrestle. He's surprisingly light he's a big man, but he's surprisingly light on his feet.
I've only seen him wrestle once, and he was actually pretty agile.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Strife was a lot of fun to wrestle. I think that's only happened twice, once in a tag match, and then the one we had a few months ago.
The one where he pile drived you on the apron, I think.
How did that feel, by the way?
Oh, just super. Still feel it.
Yeah, it was.
I shrunk 2 inches that day.
Where at?
In the neck. Come on.
Sorry. So let's go to the other way. Has there been one of those matches where the guy that you were wrestling was just like so stiff and throwing like jabs at you were just like,
yeah, put it all on the table. Just say names and bury people. And
I haven't been in a situation like that. Although Abu drops his head like no other. Yeah. I took like headbutts from him in the back. It felt like someone shot me.
at our last show.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
He
It's like he took the crown of his head and just dug it in.
well, he does. He does like a salute, and then he like tips over, and it's just like they look
Just a
brutal.
straight drop. That man's head is dense, and don't take that as bad, Abu. He's awesome. He's
actually
awesome,
right
but-
behind this curtain right here.
Move.
Now let's talk about your beard. Beards seem to be like a in
Oh,
thing.
and Hype Gotti. I can't believe I forgot that Hype.
Oh yeah.
That was the other. I was like, there's got to be another Yeah, me and Hype have had a few matches. Sorry about that.
That was a nice
Hi, Owen.
segue from a beard to Hype Gotti. Okay, apparently not. Yeah, Hype Gotti, he is a tremendous wrestler, by the way. A lot of people, if you don't know who he is, look up some of his stuff. But
check out his Tumblr. It's absolutely amazing.
The guy
it's
is hilarious.
It's Hype Gotti on Tumblr, or it's Hype Gotti Baby, something like that.
know.
Probably Hype Gotti.
Just
baby.
go check
That
him
sounds
out.
like
It's fantastic.
yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off
You
there.
guys had a hell of a match at our May show, Over the Top, which if you go to magnum-pro.com and go to the Magnum on Demand and order the May show Over the Top, you can see that match for $4.99. Beautiful. So back to your beard.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you're going to keep, or? I think it fits you. Like, there's guys that can pull it off, and there's guys that can't. You can pull it off. Like, I can't see you with a short beard.
See, like, what sucks is that I started growing it longer when Daniel Bryan started getting really prominent about it.
So now people think you're following.
Yeah, of
course
course. And
you
you're
have the
gonna
long
you're
hair
gonna
and the
get
beard,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and I had the long hair before him, so this isn't fair. You know, I've been doing this for a while.
But now you have it in a bun, so
I know
Daniel
he had it
Bryan-
in a bun a few weeks ago.
I know,
was like, he's taking everything.
But
But
you also steal from Jeff Hardy because he does the Swanton, and you do that as well.
oh,
and
it's such an indie
so
move. I know.
you were.
I want to do the 450, but then that's a Young Bucks.
Is there
I can't
really
take it.
anything you can do out there that's not been done before? That's what I don't understand. Like, everything's been done. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's a matter of just sprinkling it in
I think
at the right
I think you're
time.
known for that clothesline off the top rope.
Springboard
Springboard
clothesline?
clothesline. That's kind of your move. I kind of know
A lot
that's
of
your
guys do
move.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You did it to Drew Galloway and Stevie. I think you own that move now.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it takes?
If you do it to
Oh, hot damn. Sweet, it's mine.
2X WWE guys, you deserve that.
You should- what would be a cool name for it? He'd have to come up with a cool name for it. Or do you have
Because
one? For it?
sisters.
Yeah.
Because sisters. Because sisters clothesline. And when I jump up for it, I go, why? And then the crowd goes, because sisters, as I hit. It just writes itself, right?
Our crowd is a
This
bunch
is
of little
awful.
kids, by the way.
This is so bad.
Well, we are about at 2 hours right now.
Yeah, we'll call it good.
Is there
here. This
anything
was
else?
good.
Is there anything else you want to add, Devin?
Yeah, get out there. Support indie wrestling. Support the podcast, the OMG podcast. Do a good job. Come see me. Buy a t-shirt. I don't know. Come out and support indie wrestling.
Yeah, you got to watch this guy. He will not leave you disappointed. He'll keep you on the edge of your seats.
You won't even need your seat because you'll be on the edge of it.
The whole seat is the edge when you're watching his match.
Yeah.
I don't know how that really works, to be honest, but
But again, we do want to thank you for taking time out to be here today for the second episode on season 2.
I want to ask you though, if you got social media that you don't actually tweet or Facebook from. No,
Hey, I
if you would
got
like
it.
to plug yourself.
Yeah, on Facebook, I'm at Devin Thomas. I have a fan page, and I guess you can friend me too. On Twitter, I'm at El Devante. Same with Instagram.
Not the other Devin Thomas, the football player. Isn't there a Devin Thomas football
Yeah.
player? Yeah. You're not him.
I am not.
So make sure
Contrary to belief,
make
I
sure
am
when-
not that Devin Thomas.
when you're looking out for it, don't look up Devin Thomas on YouTube and watch football plays thinking it's
Yeah,
him.
probably throw in wrestling or something like that. I don't know.
That's what I always have to do is Devin Thomas wrestling, and then it comes up.
So this is going to be a weekly thing, and we have actually some big news about
Yeah.
next week's guest. I mean, Logan's going to be back. That's not the big news, though.
I wish.
Who wants to take this one and say who our
Mr.
guests
Logan
next
can,
week?
'cause
Yeah, he's the one that kind of set it up. So Logan, why don't you tell everybody?
Why don't you
who
tell
our
everyone
guest-
the-
All right.
surprise.
Next week on the OMG podcast, we have the star of the Marks documentary, Frank the Clown.
And for those of you that don't know who Frank the Clown is, who is he, Logan?
He is WWE super fan, one of the biggest out there. He wears a clown costume. Always see him in the front row, just having a good old time. I mean, this guy pulls several shows a year, and man.
And he's
And
like,
here's some of the other big news. He's dating Mick Foley's daughter, Noelle Foley. You know,
how did that happen?
maybe
We'll
we can get some
find out.
answers.
Ooh, yeah, we'll find out how that happened. We'll talk to him about the
OMG.
Marks documentary. We'll find out. I mean, this guy's like, he's friends, like legitimate friends with like WWE
Like
superstars.
CM Punk.
Yeah,
they
CM
talk about
Punk.
hockey together.
Yeah, CM Punk, AJ Lee are like good friends of Frank the Clown. So we're going to talk to him and find out some interesting stories on how a wrestling fan got to the level where he's at. I mean,
by dressing in a clown costume.
yeah, by painting your face and putting on an afro wig and dressing in a clown outfit. I mean, it's worked for him. There's wrestlers that ask him all the time. They're like Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston are like huge fans of his. So that'll be interesting to have him on the podcast next week.
Maybe we
so,
can get his thoughts on WrestleMania as well.
Absolutely. So,
You think he'll be there?
Oh, we know he'll be
Do
there.
we think he'll be there?
Yeah, I know.
He's in our documentary. Of course he's going to be there.
It's a joke, guys.
That's the only reason he's going is because
That's
of
the
us.
one show he's sitting out.
Yeah.
I know how he's going to be
WrestleMania?
there because sisters.
This is never going to get
We're going to trademark that and sell it, and we'll give you half the proceeds.
Dame's right.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so who's going to take us out?
That's you. You
Blah,
got
blah, 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 blah.
you got to do the jacking off
Okay.
outro.
Oh, God.
You may not want to sit that
The
close
grand
to me
finale.
when I do this. All right, so for Devin Thomas, Logan Davis, Anthony Douglas, I'm Jack Flubash, and I'm jacking off.